Hello again, friends. Welcome back to twitch.tv/trooperberry, and welcome back to Vampire Therapist. We took a small break from it last week, partly to play Celeste, and partly because there was an update in this game that broke things just a little. But it sounds like things are back in working order, so we're going to jump back in the game. Now, if memory serves, last time we left off, I think we had just finished our third therapy session with Andromachos, and we're just about to start our third round of sessions with our 4 clients. Starting, of course, with the good Dr. Drayne / Lord Luridus.
Yeah, you got any drinker's blood?
I know you are joking. You will not dilute your blood before a session.
Yeah, I know, you're right. I just don't know who I'm meeting tonight. Is it gonna be Dr. Drayne or that Lord Luridus fella?
Or maybe both.
You only met a single individual last time, and you will meet only a single individual this time.
Now, here's what I'm wondering. Are we fully on rails? This is a pure visual novel, or is it? Are there different endings we can get? I know. I suppose we'll find out eventually. Hey, Stewie, good to see you. How you been? Hope your Thursday is going well. You see, we're just getting going here.
Do not let Dr. Drayne's avoidance of accountability confuse you.
You saw the guy, though. Lord Luridus ain't nothing like Dr. Drayne.
Is he, though?
And why do you think that is, Samuel?
Okay, opposites attract. Lord Luridus is a demon or something. Or it's easier for Dr. Drayne to blame Luridus as opposed to himself, even though Lord Luridus is, in fact, himself. Just got back from vacation. Oh, back on the ground. Yeah, I know that feeling. Where were you on vacation? What all did you get up to?
Well, maybe it's easier for Dr. Drayne to blame Lord Luridus.
Correct, Samuel. A mild change in personality would be within Dr. Drayne's control. Luridus is not, and therefore, Dr. Drayne relinquishes control. Prepare yourself, my friend. Let us find the darkness that lives within Dr. Drayne.
Interesting. I'm seeing just little bits here and there where the text and the speech, just little differences. It's not like egregious, but it's noticeable. You rented a race. Oh wow! You rented a racetrack. I didn't know you could do that. That sounds neat. Took your cars on it for a few days. Oh wow! Now, like is it one of those race tracks with the high banks, or is it more? Is it like a flat track, or like what? I am curious. I am not a car person. Okay. So now we're gonna do our. We're gonna choose our loadout for this session, and yeah, the should statements are locked in. Not like more like F1. Oh, okay. So more of that kind of track. Gotcha. So more of the windy, twisty, than the just going around and bang. Okay, cool. Well, I hope you had a really good time of it. Okay, so now the way this works is, I see there's a bunch. We have a full suite of cognitive distortions here, but we can only have 5. Other ones are gonna come up, but we just gotta let those ride and focus on just a few at a time. I don't think there's any kind of penalty for what we choose and what we don't. But maybe we'll see. Yeah, windy, twisty is definitely more fun. Your car is in the shop now, so it was fun until that point. You did. Oh, you didn't crash. Okay, good. I was wondering about that. So let's see. We got disqualifying the positive. Just as it says, just writing off anything good that might have been done, and then just focusing entirely on the negative. He does that quite a bit. Labeling is kind of just like applying a label to yourself or others. Nosferatu thinking. That's like black and white thinking, like all or nothing kind of approach, and as like ignoring all of the different gradations in the middle. Emotional reasoning, like like taking your emotional state and using it to color your worldview. Control fallacy, assuming control you don't have. He likes that. I don't remember all these, like personalization. We have these in our notebook, so we can go back and check. Overgeneralization, not so much. Mind reading, blaming. I think we'll try blaming. And then always right. I would like to have access to the notebook as we do this, but oh, interesting. It's it's making the sound like we have access to the notebook, but we can't actually see anything. So what else do we want to do? Yeah, these two were two of the ones we started out with. I can go back and look at blaming, but that's not that. It's very self-explanatory. And then I don't know it. Yeah, we'll do Nosferatu thinking. So, should statements disqualifying the positive, control fallacy, blaming, and Nosferatu thinking.
All right, I think I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
Now, real quick, let me head in here. Oh yeah, we also have a new journal update. It's been a hell of a month. I've got a full caseload of clients, and I'm picking up friends at Imradocti. Okay, did I read this? Okay, yeah, I think I did. Yeah. Okay. No, come on. Thank you. Yeah, we want to go cognitive distortions, and I want to check on blaming. There we go. So blaming, the opposite of personalization. Instead of everything being about us, we act like it's all about someone else. So since we're at fault and we don't want to admit we have some control. Okay, I think this is going to be very useful for our Dr. Drayne. When we can't admit contributing to our own problems, we point the finger at someone else. And that's blaming a distortion that needs fixing.
Do not fear, Samuel. I shall not let Dr. Drayne hurt you, no matter what he is calling himself. Do what you do best.
Oh yeah, so last time Dr. Drayne turned into Lord Luridus and threatened violence against us, which was rude. Of course, again, we don't see it here, but somehow we're packing a 6-shooter, and we're ready to at least brandish it, if not use it. Hey, Nougat, good to see you. I know violence in this wholesome vampire therapy game. Perish the thought.
I will, I promise. And here he comes, whoever he is today.
But how you doing, Nougat? Hope your Thursday's going well. Although where you are is probably getting close to Friday.
Doc.
Okay, so we have Dr. Drayne persona so far.
Somewhat taciturn today, then. Well, don't be upset with me. I did warn you about that beast. At least now you recognize the urgency in being rid of him. Perhaps now we can stop beating about the bush and actually fix my addiction problem.
I'm here to help, but if we're gonna lick this thing, we gotta do it honestly. And that means getting to the root of the problem.
I tire of this self-examination process. There must be something efficacious that I can do. Perhaps some sort of aversion therapy. I am willing to do whatever it takes to make that villain just go away.
Yeah, see, I don't believe that.
Then you gotta be willing to address the big old elephant in the room.
And what is that?
Good? Yeah, let's say time. Okay, yeah, I forgot you're out west. Yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster week, and for this, that, and the other reason, but you're mostly okay. Okay, Lord Luridus ain't that bad. Lord Luridus is kind of hot. That's a strong no. No, you and Lord Luridus are the same person.
You and Lord Luridus ain't two different people. You keep talking about him like he's someone else, but you both got the same brain in there.
Complete and utter nonsense. You've met him. We share absolutely nothing in common. And what's more, I am fully aware that he hates me.
I mean, you share the same body. That's one thing you got in common.
Take a look at this note he left on my desk.
That's supposed to be you there with the micropenis?
Indeed. Juvenile humor, to be sure. Certainly nothing I would produce.
I don't know. From the neck up, it's pretty accurate.
Ain't he got the same penis, though?
Quite so. I have no doubt he does the most terrible things with it.
So somehow he's got a different brain than you do, but the same penis. Something ain't adding up here, Doc.
I resent what you are suggesting. I have no effect on what Lord Luridus does.
Okay. I have no effect. So I think, yeah, so we're gonna that's a control fallacy. That's assuming he has no control, when we're pretty sure he does.
Dr. Drayne seems to assign himself no responsibility at all for the actions of Lord Luridus. Is this fair?
Is it? Oh, okay. I mean, so it does kind of seem like a control fallacy, but maybe that's blaming instead.
I resent what you are suggesting.
There we go.
You're a pretty responsible fella, but you're giving Lord Luridus more credit than he deserves.
Yeah, it's it's actually a weird start to the week. There was a huge hubbub because, of all things, the McGriddle has arrived in Hong Kong. And folks went absolutely bug nuts for it. They sold out in the space of like 3 days. And that was despite it, like, you couldn't actually get it, walk into the restaurant and get it. You actually had to buy it off the McDonald's app. And still, they just sold out the whole thing. I mean, I wasn't gonna rush out and get one, but it was, I'm a sucker for a breakfast sandwich. I'll admit it. Breakfast sandwiches and by extension breakfast burritos are my kryptonite.
What on earth are you talking about?
You know that old stereotype mortals like to spread about us where we can't go into a place until we're invited?
A ludicrous idea with no basis in scientific truth.
Ain't you giving Lord Luridus your permission to come in and do what he does when you take that plasma stuff?
I didn't invite him in the first time. I had no idea what I had created. That his presence would become an addiction was not known to me.
Dr. Drayne, you're a scientist. Your stock and trade is in facts, ain't it? Let's leave thought out of this for now. You gotta be my scientist here and stick to what we know.
Very well. Yes. The genesis of Lord Luridus was in the actions and choices I took. Are you quite satisfied?
Doc, we ain't here for my satisfaction. Do you really think that?
Well, the fact that I am upset right now certainly lends credence to the idea that you are trying to shame me.
Okay, yeah, you see, so that the fact that there's a red glow, but we can't pick any of these, that means there's a cognitive distortion going on that we did not pick, so we just got to let that go.
I won't lie to you, Doc. The people that Lord Luridus has hurt probably would have a bone to pick with you. But I ain't here to punish nobody. Well, that ain't the way to help you. In this room, we're working together. You're doing the hard work, and I'm just giving you support. Catch my drift, partner?
And so you do me even greater shame through kindness. I cannot win. Perhaps I should simply let that beast, Lord Luridus, have his way with me.
Okay, that is... Well, there is definitely a should in there, but then it says, I cannot win. That still strikes me as a control... It's assuming helplessness.
Come on now, Doc. You're jumping right to doom there. There are so many ways this therapy thing could go for you.
You gonna learn... Oh, no worries. Appreciate the lurk.
It ain't we destroy Lord Luridus or Lord Luridus wins. Jumping right to catastrophe just ain't realistic. Already you're fighting him by being here. That means there's definitely something in the middle. And working together, we'll make things better. Maybe not completely better. This work ain't never done.
Of course, I am forgetting myself. I'm not usually prone to extremes. I shall attempt to be more mindful.
Disagree.
I ain't expecting you to be perfect, Doc. And I don't want you to expect perfection from yourself either. What I'm asking you for is self-compassion. That ain't erasing blame. It's just approaching yourself from a place of understanding. That's a scientific method, ain't it?
I doubt many in the scientific community would agree with such a statement, but I believe I understand the thrust of it. We cannot address facts if we mask them in emotionality.
Okay, well, that's progress of a sort.
That's exactly it, Doc. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Indeed. Thus my attempt to synthesize the thought properly.
Well, thank the dark powers that made us. Someone in here's the smart one.
Very well. We shall take a strategic, scientifically sound approach. We will agree upon facts, develop hypotheses, test and validate. If I rely on the science, I will never be wrong.
If I rely on the science, I will never be wrong. Okay. It's not blaming, it's not disqualifying the positive. It's not a should statement. So it could be control, or it could be Nosferatu thinking. Is it a control fallacy, though? Well, it is an if-then statement.
Whoa there, dog. That's some real Nosferatu thinking. If you're going to be so dogmatic about science, what's the difference between it and religion?
I am not being dogmatic. Scientific theory is designed to be challenged.
Are you open to be challenged, then? Don't be so sure there's only one path forward. Your answers might be in how you feel rather than in data and formulas.
I suppose. Feelings are contextual hormonal clues in any event. I'll try to be mindful of them.
Well, sounds good to me, compadre. Let's start assembling them facts. Can I ask you some questions, then?
You may. Let us begin.
Alright, so you told me that the thing that makes your plasma addicting is how good it makes you feel when you wake up from it. From your scientific perspective, what makes it feel good?
The lack of responsibility, perhaps?
From a chemical perspective, good feelings, or positive emotions, are the result of neurotransmitter action. Considering the specific emotions felt in the immediate moment are contentment and satisfaction, it is certain that I am experiencing an oxytocin and dopamine release. It is a primal limbic response. In laboratory settings, we observe a constant drive in animals towards stimulating the release of amygdala-receptive neurotransmitters.
Laboratory. I can't say laboratory anymore. Anytime that I see that word, it always comes out laboratory. And Dexter is the one to blame.
I think you're gonna need to boil that down for me, Doc.
I did not come here to teach. But so be it. Ask your questions.
Well, what's the limbic system do?
The limbic system functions as the emotional center of the brain, responsible for emotional responses such as joy, fear, and anger.
So it's like the part of my brain deciding if I should be scared of a rattlesnake, or happy about a belly full of blood?
Precisely. It plays a crucial role in forming memories and making decisions based on emotional experiences. Often called the lizard brain, it's evolutionarily one of the older parts of the brain, indicating its fundamental role in regulating survival instincts.
I've been called lizard brain before, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't a compliment. What's this about neurotransmitters?
Neurotransmitters are chemical messengers that neurons use to communicate with each other. For example, social bonding reliably triggers a release of oxytocin, creating a sense of security and attachment.
You know, hugs, for instance.
So, if I'm reading you right, when I'm feeling all snug after a good feed, it's them oxytocin neurotransmitters doing their thing?
Exactly. This process is an integral part of our brain's reward system, encouraging behaviors that are perceived as beneficial for our survival and well-being.
So, survival feels good, basically.
Yes, though I would not publish such a statement in an academic paper.
It'd be a really short paper. It'd be like a page. You know, you'd have to build it out at least a little bit.
So what's all this stuff really mean in the end, Doc? Why's this neurotransmitter stuff even matter?
An intriguing question. Naturally, emotion does not have a practical evolutionary application on its own.
Yeah, our brains are designed to keep us safe, not keep us happy.
However, these emotions signal to the reptilian brain whether or not we are under threat.
Oh, well, dang, now I think we're getting somewhere. I think the answer's right in front of us.
Oh? And what is it that your rooting, tooting brain can synthesize that mine cannot?
Excuse me, sir. Sorry. If you were going to use that phrase, I'm going to have to ask you to... If you say rooting, tooting, that is incorrect. It has to be rootin, apostrophe, tootin, apostrophe. Need a psychiatrist? No. Needs a liver? No. So Lord Luridus feels safer than Dr. Drayne.
You don't feel safe on your own. Taking that plasma forces you to get that neurotransmitter hit.
An intriguing theory. However, evidence stands against it. Like it or not, I am a vampire. The only thing that may threaten me is the sun or a more powerful vampire. I should not be experiencing feelings of mortal danger. I am not immortal. Logically, I should know such a thing is ridiculous.
Okay, now that's should not be experienced in any field. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward should statement.
There's them should statements again, Doc. It doesn't matter what logic says. You still got that part of your brain that says it's in danger, and that part doesn't care about logic.
An astute point, and an inconvenient one. That we should be saddled with such vestigial, primal concerns is most unfortunate.
Still the fact, though.
Can't avoid the fact that we still got them human concerns. At least we don't gotta poop, huh?
Oh dear, and you are doing so well. At least I have nothing to fear from you.
It's true, though. We're still animals, partner. We gotta satisfy the animal. Just not through pooping.
But we are immortal. Why do we have animal needs, fears, and emotions? What possible use do they have?
Okay, why do we have animal needs, fears? Okay, well, yeah. What possible use do they have? I mean, needs, fears, emotions. They have goods. I mean, fears. Yeah, fears. Sometimes there are things you should be afraid of.
Sometimes, Doc, you are just too smart for your own good. You're logicking away all the good things about being human. I mean, let's say we freed ourselves from those biological concerns. Got rid of all them fears and insecurities and quirks. Why are we doing anything then? I don't know about you, Doc, but I don't want to turn into a computer. All them great discoveries and works of art came from our humanity.
We'll come back to that later.
Perhaps it is so. Do you know, I met Isaac Newton several times. The young fellow was motivated indeed, but it was his human vindictiveness that made him so effective.
Yeah, he was also big into alchemy, so let's back it down a little bit.
All those motherfuckers who called me a nerd are going to pay, mark my words, he would say. Or something along those lines.
Maybe that one just didn't get written down.
So, he was making sure none of those motherfuckers could hurt him.
That was certainly part of it. It was not just the love of science that drove the man. It is such a disappointing notion, however, to think that we cannot transcend our reptilian brain, even when we are beyond death.
We're dealing in facts, though, and I think what we're coming to is that your reptilian brain doesn't feel safe.
Which is absolutely ridiculous, but I must admit that it is somehow true. Ugh, what a devastating revelation. Dr. Drayne, for all his scientific achievement, is just an emotional little laboratory rat who bases all his decisions in fear.
Well, hey, Goofy, good to see you. How's your morning going? I know you were up early for Koru's stream. Are you up more? Are you up more caffeinated now? Yeah. I think we're about. I don't know exactly. I think we're probably about at the midpoint of the game. Going fine. Up now. Coffee drank. Good. Yeah, that is the proper start to the day. Yeah, we're having our third session with Dr. Drayne here, who's trying to quell his horny counterpart, and we're trying to get him to at least be gentler with himself. Let's see. So, Dr. Drayne, for all his scientific achievement, is just an emotional little laboratory rat who bases all his decisions in fear. Okay, well, this would be labeling, but we skipped that one. Yeah, I think he's disqualifying all the good stuff he's done.
Man, you just jump right to that extreme. You're probably the smartest fella I ever met, Doc. You ain't a science god, but who is?
You recommended the game to who is a human therapist. Okay, well, human therapists count too. He plays games and streams once a week. Nice. Playing so like yeah. Now I don't know if this therapist friend of yours is a cognitive behavioral therapist, but even if they're not, I imagine they probably recognize a lot of the concepts that are on display here. But no, that's good on you, and I love it when people spread the word of this game because it's such fun and it's really heartfelt. The art's good, the music's a bop, and it's as befits a game that is coming from someone with a heavy influence from Hades. It's pretty sex positive too. Psychodynamic. Okay, they remember the stuff from school. Okay.
I think there's a lot of room between being a lab rat and being the perfect logical being.
You are, of course, correct. I'm letting my emotions get the better of me. Most unscientific.
Doc, I want to go back to one of them things I was telling you about in our first session. and that's self-compassion. Let's say you had some vampire apprentice, a scientist like you, who didn't know nothing like what you know, and said they were down on themselves for all the reasons you are. What would you say to them?
Well, I would explain that progress is non-linear. The scientific method, in fact, celebrates failure. That which does not conform to theory still informs theory.
Okay, so tell yourself that.
Any chance you could put the scientist away and talk to their human side?
Well, I suppose I would say that it is fine, that all things are temporary, and the universe does not care to condemn them.
So how can we get you to say them things to yourself, Doc?
There we go.
My situation is not the same. I was trained in the age of discovery. I bear the responsibility for that age.
Okay, yeah, I think that's personalization, but again, we didn't pick that one.
What if this project of mine, to create the blood that will sustain the world, is not what I am here for? Then what is my purpose?
Who says you got a purpose?
Well, let me ask you, what's the purpose of a gopher?
Yeah, our Dr. Drayne, he's a smart cookie, but he has like sky high expectations of himself and gives himself no room for error at all. And I think that's why his id in the form of Lord Luridus is acting out.
Rodentia, Geomedy. Rodents endemic to North America, known for their tunneling ability and as agricultural pests.
Judgy, rude.
I believe they are the prey of owls, snakes, and coyotes, and are omnivorous themselves, consuming vegetables, insects, and small mammals.
I wasn't expecting you to be so thorough. I don't think I knew half that stuff.
I have come to learn nearly everything there is to know about mammalian biology as a result of my research. Please get to the point.
I think I forgot what it was now.
That is not encouraging.
Hold on a sec, I think I've got it.
Oh, that's very kind of you to say, Goofy, but my tolerance for people is not consistent the way Sam's is. I would like to think I could be empathetic and help people on their journey, but I have days where I would really just rather not people. Okay, I think I got it. No, that's not it. Gophers have a purpose, or he's like a gopher.
Gophers have a purpose. Driving people crazy, that's what. Used to wreak havoc on the farmland back in Missouri.
Because you know what it is. Well, no, yeah, I will. Honestly, the reason the reason is that I think I took one psychology class in high school, and then two during undergrad at two different schools.
Absolutely ridiculous. That is not their purpose. It's an ill-informed anthropocentric philosophy defined and subscribed to entirely by said anthropocentrists.
I didn't know bugs could do that.
Anthropocentrists, not arthropods. Humans. Homo sapiens. I am saying that you have created a purpose for the gopher that the gopher is entirely unaware of.
Oh, and then who created the purpose you're talking about?
So, who made your purpose, Dr. Drayne?
There we go. You think why you don't leave the house on the weekend, you see people 5 days a week? No, that's totally fair. And if your tank for social interaction is empty, don't force it.
What? Well, I did, I suppose.
So if you made it, you can change it, right?
But how can I change my purpose? I have always been a scientist. So that's what I am.
Okay, so it is one of these. It's not blaming because it's all about him. I think it's assuming. How can I change my purpose? So he's saying it's actually not quite labeling because it's not a scientist is, well, that's what I am. Yes, it's not should. It's not blaming. Not really disqualifying the positive. It seems like it's Yeah, I think it's probably like close to what Nosferatu thing. It's like, so it's disregarding all everything, all the non-scientist stuff he could be and he can do. I think what's giving me pause is how can I change my purpose? It's like assuming he can't change his purpose.
Science is just what you do, compadre. That's one of them anthropocentric philosophies you mentioned. You're overgeneralizing about yourself. Dr. Drayne's in there, and he's more than the things he knows are his job title.
That's the problem. I'm not sure that he is.
All right, well, let's take that scientific approach and try to figure out who the man behind the scientist is.
Very well. If we look at the behavior of our subject, myself, we can infer a few things. If we examine my behavior, one can draw comparison to a threatened higher-thinking mammal. I spend much time in ensuring personal safety and security.
You sure do. Oh yeah, if you see that little spurt of blood coming up from Sam, that means we got it right. If we don't get it right, Andromachos will pop in and then have a quick little chat with us. Andy has telepathy, which is apparently something 3,000-year-old vampires can do. So he can kind of step in and stop us before we go down the wrong path.
What about your more peaceful moments? What do they look like?
I believe these feelings are only medically induced through my special plasma. However, Dr. Drayne appears to be at rest when he is full and satisfied.
And your synthetic blood doesn't do that for you.
Well, no, again, Andromachos is very sparing with his, he won't even do it and just casually out in the world. He only does it to us to make sure we do the best job helping our clients, because we're learning how to be a therapist through him.
I am forced to admit that at present it does not.
Dr. Drayne, what do you think of drinking something a little more fresh and human?
I will not. I do not have to. That depraved vampire, Lord Luridus, is the source of all that is base and vulgar about my person.
Okay, yeah. So it's all Lord Luridus' fault. That strikes me as blaming.
Doc, you're blaming Lord Luridus for something common to all vampires, including yourself. We need blood. That's just how it is. Ain't Lord Luridus' fault.
When you're playing, you 100% ship Sam. You are far from alone in that, Goofy. Especially if you go on to Little Bat Games Twitter feed and you look at some of the fan art that's out there. Yeah, there's a lot of shipping going on.
Now, I know you ain't comfortable with that need, but you can't offload everything you ain't happy with onto Lord Luridus. That just makes him worse.
You have not been listening to me at all if you believe I have absolved myself of all vampiric frailty.
I didn't say that. I'm saying you're distancing yourself from your needs by saying they're Lord Luridus's needs. Well, what if you indulge Lord Luridus once in a while? Maybe you could keep him from coming out.
Do you not understand what I have been working toward for the last 400 years? I will finally be able to transcend this thing that I am. I shall be a parasite no more.
Okay, that's labeling, calling himself a parasite. But again, he's calling himself a parasite now, which again it ignores all the good stuff he's doing.
It seems the doctor aims to transcend his nature. Can any do such a thing?
Okay, so okay. So he's assuming he can transcend his nature when obviously he can't. So control fallacy?
I will finally be able to
Come on, Dr. Drayne. You're a scientist. You know mankind ain't got that kind of control over nature.
Mid-century identity crisis. Well, yeah, I think the reason it's not a choice is because we already have another client who is undergoing that very same thing.
Ain't you ever seen that movie where they bring back the dinosaurs?
That film was scientific drivel. Its simplistic understanding of DNA should have alienated its audience immediately. But then, who can guess with Americans?
It was a good story, though. And in the end, it wasn't a story about DNA. It was a story about controlling nature, which I'm sure you know ain't never worked.
Because as Jeff Goldblum taught us, life finds a way.
Your argument does not hold weight when your source of truth is a fantasy film.
Dr. Drayne, we really got to talk about some kind of middle path here. Back home, we tried the whole abstinence thing a few times, and it didn't go too well. We tried to stop drinking, and that just made people only do bad drinking. We tried telling teenagers sex was evil, and that just made them want it even more while being ashamed of themselves. What if you just tried to do some of them things Lord Luridus does? Just don't do them the way he does.
I find the idea utterly repellent.
Yeah, but then you go and take that plasma, and Lord Luridus makes the decisions. We don't want that, right?
Fine. Fine. I'll drink some blood.
Wow, some vampire you are, pal.
But I warn you, Sam, the price of failure is most dear. If I should lose my humanity, all of humanity will lose.
Okay, again, that's another if-then statement.
Or you pick yourself up and try again. Ain't that what the scientific method's all about? It ain't winning and losing. It ain't the end of humanity if things don't go perfectly. You're predicting the future, hombre. Ain't nothing scientific about that.
You think so? I can't imagine someone with my highly rational mind feeling so strongly if my prediction weren't firmly rooted in fact.
Okay, I think that is... No, I think that's emotional reasoning.
I know it all seems real heavy right now. Just show yourself a little compassion and patience. Beating yourself up over a future that ain't happened yet isn't gonna help you.
Oh, yeah, an ad? Oh, sorry about that, Goofy. Yeah. One of the nice things about being here, as opposed to back in the U.S., Twitch doesn't sell a lot of ads for Hong Kong. So if I'm on a channel where I'm supposed to see ads, I might see one, and usually it's some nonsense. It's not like some big AAA release or mobile title that people are pushing, or usually, especially like this summer, it's a trailer for some ridiculous summer blockbuster movie that I am definitely not going to go see. This time around, it was A Quiet Place Day One, which hurt me because I really liked the first Quiet Place. I didn't see any of the movies after that because I don't care to. But yeah, Goofy, American, Twitch being Twitch, it's gonna sell hard in the U.S. because that's where a lot of its user base is.
We need to go back to this thing I brought up before. You're a smart fella, Dr. Drayne, but sometimes you're forgetting vampire commonality. We've all felt like the world was ending or that we're awful monsters, but them feelings are our perceptions alone.
Yes, I'm aware. Perhaps I've been a little too human in my foibles.
Wait, fwabbles? Not foibles? Fwabbles? First time I've heard it pronounced that way.
However, you forget my training in history. I am not an average vampire. I was trained by the great Professor William Harvey.
Oh, Bill Harvey? Wow. Whenever streaming you wasn't sub to, so like, you don't have ads. You don't, okay. You get like the animals on the side of the screen. Oh, yeah, I never get those. It's either like the full screen ads or nothing. Honestly, if they were more like that, if it was just like the ads on the side of the screen, I might be more tolerant of ads. But it's the whole thing, like the idea behind, shoving ads into live streams and YouTube videos. Well, like the whole ethos of the advertising industry is that if we show you an ad for our product while you're watching something you like, you will like our product too. And like, y'all, if you interrupt a stream I like with an ad for a thing I either don't know about or don't want, and you do so on regular intervals, and your ad completely blocks out the thing I want to watch, and it's at like 10 times the volume, not only am I not going to buy your product, I'm going to go out of my way not to give you any of my money ever. Because screw you. TV, you're not missing me showing it. Yeah. Well, and the thing is, Goofy, it has been yonks since I've watched, like the only like TV I've watched as opposed to like a live stream or YouTube videos, is live sports. And obviously they don't. We've got away from putting ads in the middle of games.
The secrets of animal biology.
I think they haven't put ads in the middle of games since the 1994 World Cup, and there's a reason for that. It's also a thing to get subs because you don't want to see. I say, well, or so they assume. I hear there are programs for such things, but you didn't hear that from me. Only thing you watched recently is Olympics and the BBC. There you go.
I have a duty to humanity and to my own legacy. A duty I should not fail in. Otherwise, what was it all for?
Should statements.
Hold your horses there, amigo. You say you've got a duty to humanity? Well, that ain't scientific at all. It ain't just anthropocentric. It's Dr. Drayne-centric. Nobody said you had to do anything. Remember when we first started talking, I told you about them should statements? That's what you're doing, compadre. Just remember that them shoulds are yours.
Yes. I must be frustrating to you, Sam. I invoke the same delusions over and over again.
Ah, that's why we're here.
Hey, come on, Doc. You should be proud of yourself. You know what the difference is between you and vampires who never improve themselves?
You only watch the BBC because you're telling your mom about a thing news channels are reporting on, so you're waiting for it to come on. And yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, Sam's horse whisperer routine is going on here. Now it's not as overt when we have the actor Edmund Kean here, but it's good. Yeah, the difference between Dr. Drayne and the vampires who can't be bothered, he's here. He's putting in the work.
You're here. You've made a commitment to getting your head on straight, and you're getting there, my friend. Already you're making some big changes and investing in yourself. I can see it. So let's cut Dr. Drayne a break. How about it, amigo? He doesn't need the weight of the world on him. There's only one thing he should do, and that's have a little understanding and empathy for himself. You get me?
Yes, I get you. Very well. I shall try to keep a clear head.
And you get a full belly too.
And I will arrange to drink some real blood. There's plenty of it in the lab. I shall just liberate some of it.
With consent.
Good man. We'll talk about how it's gone next month, all right?
Indeed. Until then, Sam. And thank you for your patience.
I ain't got nothing but time, amigo. You can thank me by being patient with yourself.
All the same, you have my thanks. I shall see you in a few weeks then. Farewell.
Well done indeed, Samuel. I think we are starting to see a new version of the good doctor in the making.
Yeah, the fan art of Andromachos is sensual.
I hope you're right, boss. That fella's awful hard on himself.
That is normal, my friend. Being a vampire takes a lot of self-acceptance. He is only taking his first steps in discovering this.
Yeah, fair enough. It took other people forgiving me for me to forgive myself.
Well, no, I would say the stuff on their Twitter account, very tame. Sensual, but tame. You probably need to go on other sites if you want to see the really spicy stuff.
And now you pass on this gift of compassion to Dr. Drayne. Now, Samuel, the evening is still young. See what the night has to offer downstairs.
That sounds good, Andy.
Rest in peace, my friend.
Well, no, you certainly don't have to if you don't want to. I'm sure your imagination can fill in the gaps, I'm sure.
I always come out of the doc sessions feeling dumber than ever.
Great session with the doc tonight. Sometimes his being a big old nerd can be a real help. He's looking at his problem more rationally now. Likes to blame Lord Luridus for his more animal needs. That is, he denies his own needs, and Luridus fulfills them. Has a lot of his identity tied up in being a rational scientist. Wants to transcend being a vampire. Must drink real blood. I encourage the doc to drink some real blood. I think his head ain't clear because he's starving. I think he gets that it's a biology thing.
I'll check in with Crimson. She's always got some bartender's wisdom to share. Howdy, Crimson. Looks like a nice crowd tonight.
They're always a nice crowd, Cowboy. We like to maintain an asshole-free zone.
I'll try not to be an asshole then.
I'm not worried about you, Cowboy. You had a session tonight, didn't you?
Yeah, with the doctor fella. We had a hard talk about what being a vampire means. He's having a hard time coming to terms with it, even after 400 years.
I can understand that. I've stopped aging for the last 20 years and don't know how I feel about it yet. How do you think it went with him?
Yeah, I think by the end, Drayne actually seemed like genuinely thankful and willing to do the work we asked him to do. So I think it went pretty well.
I think we're finally getting somewhere, actually. It's funny, a lot of vampires forget they're human, but he keeps forgetting he's a vampire. But just like we can't opt out of being human, we can't opt out of being vampires either.
Must have been a hard talk, Cowboy. I sometimes wonder what I am. Staying the same age, drinking Andy's blood to live.
Well, if this was the world of darkness, we'd call you a ghoul. But I'm not going to call Crimson a ghoul because that would be mean.
Don't get me wrong. I like not being dead, but I still feel like I'm living on borrowed time.
Is this a good time to ask why you don't just join the dark side? It ain't that bad being dead.
I'm just not sure what I'd do with forever, you know? Eternity's a long time.
That is factually accurate.
Yeah, I think a lot of us vampires can't answer that question either. And I don't think there's one answer anyway.
There you go. So I guess I'll keep putting off the question.
But nobody's rushing you, Crimson.
You think I'd let anyone? But thanks for listening, Cowboy. Now why don't you go mingle?
And I still maintain, throughout this whole time, this is like our, what, 4th? Yeah, we've done multiple streams of this, and each time, anytime anyone suggests that Sam dance, it's like you threw a cat into water. I still maintain that by the end of this video game, we're going to see Sam cut loose on the dance floor.
There's a new fella in the kink room who's very interested to meet you.
Oh. So not our usual goths then?
I guess I'll go be social then. Thanks, Crimson. Wait a sec, that ain't...
That's not Reinhardt.
Greetings, my child.
Keep your distance, amigo. I know our kind ain't had good history, but I ain't in the mood for an exorcism or nothing.
My child of the dark. If I were to exorcise you, nothing would be left when I was done.
Oh, we got another Irish voice actor. Well, that's nice.
Only the good Lord is free of sin. We are all children of darkness.
Holy smokes, what Bible have you been reading?
I know my scripture, my son. However, I am by scripture and dark metal ordained, not by any church of man.
Okay. Well, there's a sentence. I am by scripture and dark metal ordained.
So, you're some kind of freelance priest?
I think he's taking some artistic license, shall we say.
Yes, I suppose I am. It is the only way I can give succor to those who need it most.
So I gotta ask, seeing as we're in a kink room, what kind of sucker are we talking about?
I follow in the path of the Lord. I share my body, and I share my blood.
Ain't this a little blasphemous for your kind?
To whom, my child? God is in everything, including you, sweet vampire. Can God blaspheme against himself?
Could God make a sin so egregious even he wouldn't forgive it?
I merely wish to give comfort to those who live in darkness. And so, I choose to live in darkness with them.
Okay, so he's a blood bag.
Come, my son. I shall give succor to you.
Remember, we want the red bits.
Well, alright. Maybe if you stop calling it that.
Thou shalt not want, my son. Are you comforted?
Yeah, I guess I am.
I know those of my faith have hunted your kind. Perhaps we fear our own sin, so we seek the sins of others. I seek only the Lord in everything, as do we all, whether we know it or not.
You ain't wrong, I suppose. Hey, a little awkward, but what's your name, fella?
I am Kieran, It means little dark one. The night always did call to me.
Well, Kieran, I'm Sam, and I appreciate the blood, but I'm gonna turn in. A little sleepy now.
Go with God, my child of the night.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that.
That was an interaction I did not expect.
A fine evening to you, Samuel. Are you ready for tonight's session with Signora d'Este?
Oh, okay, we're rolling right in. We don't even have the scene in our coffin where we can choose to read literature or watch the Three Stooges or go straight to bed. Interesting. Before we do, let me check in. Yeah, so this is Isabella d'Este. We were working on. She says she has a. So here you go. She had an existential immortality crisis. So her whole thing has been like infusing art with meaning, and then she saw, and I'm using the title the game uses here. Space Wars: Rise of the Spacewalker, and she saw it. And then saw the fact it made billions of dollars, and it sent her into a spiral, basically. Like, something that empty and devoid of meaning got that kind of rapturous reception. So let's see. Got into her family. Yeah, she took it upon herself. Like the last time we talked about her family history, and one, she really hates the Spanish. Says so right there. But she also took it upon herself to save her family. And the fact that it fell meant she put that all on her own shoulders. So holding a lot of anger. Just hit the yes for this. We'll see if we can't push it a little more.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're making some good progress.
That is wonderful. Remember, though, that the road to inner peace is not a straight line.
True enough. I like to say I didn't make my path. Nature did.
Samuel, you have the makings of a poet.
Yeah, we got cowboy poets are a thing, right?
Oh, I meant it more literally. When I was walking in the woods, I just walked where the land led me.
But you see, this is a wonderful metaphor. If there is a valley between two mountains, that is the path nature takes us on.
Yeah, but it's on those mountains is where the loot is.
We often choose to climb the mountain instead when the easier path is made for us.
Again, because there's loot there.
Your experience guides your intuition more than you might expect, my friend.
Guess it's that peasant wisdom the Signora mentions.
Be careful with the labeling, my friend.
I didn't mean it in a bad way. I ain't ashamed of being a peasant. I'm just folks, as we like to say.
I can see why the Signora has become quite fond of you. Are you prepared for your session with her?
Yeah, I think with our progress, there might be some other distortions to focus on. Let me think.
So yeah, so control fallacy is locked in, which makes sense because she is assuming she has the ability to, infuse art with meaning, which is a big swing. I'm going to go back to should statements because she likes those. Now, let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Personal overgeneralization. She hasn't done a lot of blaming, I don't think, but maybe that's because we haven't had that in our holster yet. Excuse me. Could do some overgeneralization. Although that's more Meddy's thing. She definitely does know Nosferatu thing. That no doubt there. I would put in some emotional reasoning. So your emotions coloring the way you see the world. And yeah, I think we'll go with personalization. Like personalization is like it's the opposite of blaming. Blaming puts it all on other people. Personalization, making it all about yourself. because well, she hates the Spanish. Well, the Spanish did kind of ride into her town and and like torture city and went after her family. So I think her dislike for the Spanish is not without reason.
All right, locked and loaded.
The people of your country have so many colorful phrases having to do with firearms. I do not understand the obsession.
Honestly, neither do I. But I think I've been away for so long that it will inevitably sound weird to me too.
I can't explain it neither.
Well, there we go. And this guy is walking around Europe with a 6-shooter.
I shall leave you alone with the Signora, Samuel.
So if he doesn't get it, I don't see why I would.
Howdy, Signora. Good to see you tonight.
You are looking forward to seeing me?
Well, sure I was. You're an interesting person, Signora. It's a privilege to get to know you.
I suppose you have learned something of manners yourself. I thought a lot about the things we talked about last time, you know.
Oh, yeah? What about exactly?
About how foolish I was for wasting my time for so long fighting against reality.
Okay, actually, let me check this real quick. I'm gonna just refresh myself on personalization. Yeah, so we assume things happen because of us. So wrongly linking external events to ourselves in cases where there's no definite link. I was foolish for wasting my time for so long fighting against reality. Yeah, that feels like emotional reasoning. No?
A woman so learned and accomplished was probably never ineffective or foolish, don't you think, Samuel?
About how foolish I was for wasting my time for so long fighting against reality.
Now hold on, Signora. Maybe you were fighting reality some, but that doesn't mean you were wasting your time. That fighting with reality is just part of what makes you human. It's your experience, your journey that you're learning from.
But if the aim was to control my family, I failed to achieve that aim.
Why was the aim to control your family?
Yeah, but that's real all or nothing aim, Signora. It's easy to fail when the conditions for winning are so narrow, right?
Yes. You are, of course, correct.
Of course.
Would that I had listened to the simpletons in my life earlier.
Okay, that's okay. Well, that's another one that's not in our lineup just yet. Hey, Andrea, good to see you. How you doing? I hope your Thursday is going well, and you are back from Montreal, I hope. And you probably have a. Oh wait, yeah, it is August, so yeah, you probably got a big crunch with a magazine ahead of you, don't you? Today is delivery day for the double. Oh, that is heavy. That is all kinds of heavy. Let me give Andrea a real quick proper welcome here, the way we do.
No, Cal Mike, I don't usually put too much ideological stress on a crowd pleaser popcorn action flick. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. It is what it is, and anyone who watches the movie are, in my opinion, there to see rippling abs and some high-octane violence, and that's what the film promises, that's what it delivers. I can't condone that kind of toxic masculine statement when it's depicted completely unchallenged. And I actually feel like it disappointed me because I felt like the film up till then was smarter than that. And so I kind of gave it the benefit of the doubt in that he just said something deeply problematic, but something's going to happen to challenge that, right? No.
Well, I'm glad you've been doing some thinking. You were putting so much pressure on yourself to be the one keeping your family going. I can tell how much it was weighing on you.
You're in good shape? Okay, good. I'm glad to hear you're in good shape. Yeah, double issue. That's the double issue, double the work. You got mad at Roadhouse. Yeah, I think I remember that. But yeah, I can understand getting mad at Roadhouse. Like these remakes that don't actually do anything new or interesting with the source material, it does feel like I don't always think a waste of time. It seems like a wasted opportunity. It's like oh god, what was it? I don't know, whatever I'm forgetting the name of it. It's like the Adam Sandler remake of the football movie in prison. With Burt Reynolds played Paul Crewe. I forget it, but yeah, it's like they didn't. You just do the same thing over again, and it's like, why? And that's in addition to like problematic people being in the film and this, that, and the other thing. But no, I'm glad you're in good shape, because I know the pressures of deadline day. So I do hope the bottle of bubbly gets fully partooketh when the time comes.
I spent so long trying to fix them, trying to transform them into something that they were not. May I talk to you about my ex-husband, Sam?
Well, of course.
Of course you can. I know he gave you a lot of grief.
He hurt me deeply, in so very many ways. He was the start of all my delusions because I thought I could fix him.
There we go. So the I can fix him existed back in the Renaissance. So I thought it's not a new thing.
I thought Frankie was the way he was because I was not an ideal wife. That perhaps he would have been faithful if I had been as beautiful or fertile as a Medici.
Okay, so it's good. Yeah, so we're making Frankie's shortcomings, she's making Frankie's shortcomings all about herself. So that strikes me as personalization.
But you know that who your husband was didn't have nothing to do with you, right? Everyone comes into a relationship with their own problems.
Yes, I believe I understand that now. But if I had been more like that Borgia woman, he would have been more content.
Okay, we're missing one there. What would that be? If I had been more like that Borgia woman, he would have been more content. Control fallacy? I'm not sure.
But here's the thing, Signora. Your husband's issues didn't have anything to do with you. He was going to bring him into the relationship regardless.
You are right. Who he was not my fault.
Boom. Good.
I know I have been arguing with reality, as you have said, but the idea of a fruitful marriage, sanctified by God, this was the only reality I had. But that reality did not match with mine. God could not have blessed both our marriage and riddled Frankie's penis with French diseases.
I don't think it was God who did that.
French diseases?
Oh, come on, Sam. You know that.
We used to call syphilis the malfrance.
Diseases don't belong to any nationality. You sound like a certain politician from back home.
Hi-oh! Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot of animation going on, but yeah, the faces can get very expressive. So yeah, high marks for the art in this game.
Do not insult me. Have I not suffered enough with my husband's disgusting malady? It was a painful lie to live. I could only conclude from my sorrow that God was testing me. Endlessly.
Okay, yeah, I think she's kind of making it all about herself, but it could also be emotional reasoning. So her sorrow was, leading her to conclude that God was testing her. Excuse me. It's one of the two.
Again, Signora, going back to where we started. You were you, and Frankie was Frankie. Your sorrow was natural. If you mix fire and gunpowder, there's always going to be an explosion, and it ain't God or fate that's causing it.
Does that say Nosferatu? Yeah, it is. Oh, well, when we started out calling it high noon thinking, and then Andromachos, our teacher. Well, I think he called it's like what was it? Oh, what like hubris and nemesis, But he calls it Nosferatu thing. It's like black and white thinking. Like if then black white, no middle ground. But he called it Nosferatu thinking because black and white, of course.
I suppose it is true. I was merely unlucky enough to be an eligible duchess to a most ineligible duke.
Yeah, it's pretty clever. I think I'd say for a solo dev project, I think that they put a lot of love and a lot of care and a lot of research into this.
I think this just needs a little reframing. I know you were dealt a rough hand, but doesn't necessarily mean you were being tested. Sometimes we just gotta make do with the hand we got. What I'm suggesting is that then and now, a radical acceptance approach could have helped you.
What do you mean?
Okay, well, could have been polyamorous. That I don't think that would have been a thing back then. You could have become a nun. Was that an option though? I mean, I'm sure it was an option to women, but none is not radical acceptance. You could have had a secret arrangement, like he goes off to get his needs met and she does the same. I don't. It's definitely not that. It's probably one of these two.
You could have had some sort of secret arrangement. That was pretty common back then, right?
Oh, we did have a secret arrangement. The arrangement was that he kept secrets from me and I pretended not to know about them.
Had you ever considered talking about it?
I could not. You do not know what it was like back then. A woman, even one such as I, was always subject to her husband. I did not have a say in his affairs. I had to play the part of the good wife and mother. You must understand, I only earned my significant power by playing the societal game.
But he knew you were aware of his indiscretions, didn't he?
It was hard to deny when he approached me with that rotten thing between his legs.
So why not bring the issue out in the open?
Scandal. It would have hurt the family.
He would have become angry, I am sure. Perhaps he would have beaten me and taken away the privileges I had worked so hard to earn. Perhaps it is pointless to tread over the past again and again. What has happened has happened. It has been nearly 5 centuries. I should not let the past haunt me so.
Okay, now that's a clear should statement.
It's a hard thing, Signora. But no matter how old we get, the stuff that happened to us when we were alive is the stuff that makes us who we are. To think you should get over it ain't being fair to yourself, and it's a challenge you created. Nobody expects you to get over your past. Heck, anyone who would have thought that's long dead now.
There is truth in what you speak. My father and mother, my husband, the Pope, even the Holy Roman Emperor, they are all very long gone.
Even the Holy Roman Empire itself, which, as we all know, was neither holy, nor Roman, nor an empire. But anyway.
If I am true, Sam, I am still very angry about all the lies I was told. I may be harboring some resentment.
Maybe?
You don't say.
You will understand when I tell you of Frankie's greatest cruelty. I will tell you that the man, for all his fighting spirit, had very weak sperm, for he could not sprout a male seed in my womb.
Okay, that's blaming. That's blaming Frankie for not giving you a son, which is not something he had control over.
My first child was a girl. I could not have been more embarrassed, or so I thought, until I had my second child, who was also a girl.
Girls? Oh no, heaven forfend. Who would ever want to have a girl child?
I will tell you, Sam, I was a young woman in mourning. I did not emerge from my chambers for weeks. The next time, finally, I had a boy, my beautiful Federico. He was such a charming child. He would entertain me so with his clownish behavior.
And yeah, agreed, Andrea. Also gross.
May I show you a picture, Sam?
Oh no, she's got baby pictures.
Well, sure, let's take a look.
Look at him. Isn't he beautiful? He could have been a movie star or a model today, don't you think? Admit it. He is the most handsome boy who ever walked this cursed earth.
Oh boy, so Federico must have screwed up real bad if he, or maybe he didn't actually screw up. Maybe he just grew up to be a normal guy, and Isabella had such high hopes for him, so he would inevitably fall short.
Well...
Why am I asking you? What do you know of beauty? Anyway, I gave all of myself to him. All my guidance, all my wisdom, and all of my love.
And your two daughters got the boot?
Everyone said, you are doting on him. Give him some air. How dare they tell me my business? I am Isabella d'Este. I know what is right.
Wait, it's not should. Not a control. Well, could be a. Well, it's. She could be assuming control where. Well, I mean, she's assuming control where she maybe shouldn't have it, but I don't think that's not the definition of control fallacy we're using. I know what is right. Yeah, it could be making it all about herself.
Oh, Samuel, if more parents admitted their fallibility, perhaps the world would be a more understanding place.
Everyone said, you are doting on him.
Oh, Samuel.
Oh, come on.
Everyone said, you are doting on him. Give him some air. How dare they tell me my business?
Oh, Samuel.
Everyone said,
Signora, I'm sure you knew what was best for your son, but ain't it possible that those people might have been able to help you? It's lonely work when you feel like you can't listen to anyone else.
are you telling me how I should have raised my son?
I got a better sense of self-preservation than that, Signora. But you gotta admit, this Nosferatu thinking of being always right is pretty exhausting, ain't it?
Yeah, always right was one we skipped over.
Oh, that is true. And as it turned out, pointless. It did not matter in the end. Frankie, in his supreme foolishness, managed to get himself captured by the French.
Although interesting, she goes hard on the Spanish, but she only barely mentions the French.
He ransomed himself out of prison with something more precious than all the gold in Venezia, more valuable than the Pope's seat.
His son.
He sold my son, my beautiful Federico.
Dang, that must have been devastating, Signora. I can't imagine how painful that must have been.
No, you cannot. For you will never be a mother to a son so beautiful, so intelligent, and so pure. But that was not the end of my pain. It was not enough to take my son away.
You got your husband back?
Not content to merely break me, the French, as always, needed to corrupt.
Okay, that's probably an overgeneralization.
They sent my sweet Federico to a den of filth, a place where chastity went to die, straight to the crossroads of Sodom and Gomorrah.
I mean, that could just be any neighborhood in France. They don't. They like them some of the amour.
They sent him to the Vatican.
Oh, never mind.
The Vatican? Seems like that'd be a pretty boring place for a boy to spend time.
Pretty boy? Vatican? Surrounded by a bunch of confirmed virgins in fancy dress? I don't know, Sam.
This was Rodrigo Borgia's Vatican. It was a city of prostitutes and perverts, and he was their mayor. My poor Federico. He was a boy of a certain age. I could not have prepared him for the temptations he encountered. When he finally returned to me, he was no longer Isabella d'Este's child. He was the child of Francesco Gonzaga, an experienced whoremonger in his own right.
Okay. He was no longer my child. Well, it's not a should. It does seem like black and white thinking, but it's not. Is it though? I mean, certainly her emotions are skewing her worldview. If she, thinks her son is no longer her son because of the time he spent in the Vatican, or is she making it about herself? I don't think so.
Isabella's need for perfection caused her to no longer recognize her son. Quite a sad story, I must say.
When he finally returned...
Hold on a sec. No longer your child? You can't think that's true. You raised that boy, and there's no way he could forget you. Maybe he got up to shenanigans out there in the Vatican, but you're only hurting yourself by erasing your influence on him. Now be honest. Did he lose everything you taught him?
No. He still had an appreciation of art, for which he had some taste. And he had some political acumen, I suppose.
I'm not saying you should forget what happened to your son. That would be pretty unrealistic. But give yourself some credit for the influence you had, huh?
You are kind, Sam. Thank you. But it is hard to forget the child who returned to me. I am a man now, mother, he would say. I do not have to listen to you.
An Italian man saying he doesn't have to listen to his mother? Am I engaging in overgeneralization right now?
And indeed, he did not. Which is why he died of syphilis, just like his depraved father. He did not even have the courtesy to wait until I was dead. Now do you understand why I prefer the illusion of truth and beauty I tried to bring to art? My mother told me when my marriage was young, Isabella, you must pretend that all is as it should be. The truth is dark, but you must maintain your own.
I hate to say it, Signora, but I think your mama was spouting a few should statements of her own. Keeping up that illusion must have been draining.
That is why I tried to create my own illusions. If I depicted love and chastity in their ideal form, I could make that illusion come true.
Okay, that's a control fallacy. If you're going to make illusions come true.
Well, Signora, if anyone were strong enough to change the world's morality, it might be you. But I think you know the truth is that you don't have that kind of control. No one does.
Then why am I here, Sam? Why are any of us here? Are we here to eat, sleep, fornicate, and die?
I feel like we've already had this discussion.
I know a few folk who might say that's why we're here. It's one of them existential questions, ain't it? Here's my take, Signora. I think you're here to be you.
I certainly hope you have something more intelligent to contribute than that.
I don't really. Here's the thing, Signora. None of us is going to change the world overnight, or even in a millennium of nights. But our being here, being ourselves, swings the pendulum in a whole bunch of unknowable ways.
That is a dark interpretation of reality. Are we truly so powerless?
Yes, it assumes helplessness when that might not necessarily be the case.
What I'm saying, Signora, is not that we're powerless. I'm just saying we ain't going to change the world on our own. Not everyone's going to buy what we're selling, but some people are going to get it. People are still out there talking about the art you brought to the world. Maybe fellas like me don't know who you are, and I bet that nasty pope from your time wasn't your biggest fan. But you can't help but be an influence on people. Just not all people. Ain't that so?
I do not know if that is enough for me, Sam.
Well, here's what I think we should do, Signora. All them efforts of yours are always facing outward. How about we spend some time on you?
What do you mean?
I mean, let's work on the things Isabella d'Este likes. Forget about the rest of the world. What are you putting in your art that's for you and not for anyone else?
You are doing that, right?
Is it a little embarrassing?
Hush. If you must know, it is centaurs. I like centaurs.
Nothing wrong with that.
Hey, I ain't gonna judge. Sometimes I like horses better than people, too.
Yes, well, they are pleasing to look at.
Now, how about this, then? Why don't you pick up a brush and paint yourself up a centaur?
I have not attempted to paint for centuries.
This is just for you, Signora. No expectations. How's that sound?
I cannot believe I revealed this thing to you.
I'm glad you did. I'm a lucky fella. I get to know an Isabella d'Este no one else knows.
And no one else will know, or I will make you suffer. Capiche?
You got a deal, Signora. I'm here to be supportive, that's all. I hope that when you come back next month, we'll be having a nice conversation about you finding your muse.
Yes, perhaps. Very well, Sam. I do not understand your ways, but I cannot deny you have a certain untamed wisdom.
Well, at least she's not calling it a peasant wisdom anymore.
I shall attempt to paint a centaur. This is not what I expected from therapy, but I shall do as you suggest. I shall see you in 4 weeks then. Arrivederci, Sam.
Oh yeah, see you soon, Signora. Arrivederci.
Goodbye.
Oh, Sam.
Well, well, Samuel, you never cease to impress. Centaurs.
Keep that to yourself, please, Andy.
I don't think you're supposed to know about that, boss.
I am 3,000 years old, my friend. Horse people are somewhere at the very tip of my kinky iceberg. It is already forgotten.
Okay. Well, if the people doing the fan art of Andromachos needed any more material.
Well, the Signora's pretty embarrassed about it, so I'd appreciate it if you kept it to yourself.
Signora d'Este is wise to put her faith in you, Samuel. I will gently remind you that relationships between therapists and clients are highly discouraged.
Okay, we've been over this.
Oh, come on, Andy. It ain't like that. Signora d'Este is just... You're messing with me.
Of course I am. Unless...
All right, you know what? I'm going downstairs. I could use a drink.
Well earned, Samuel. Please, rest in peace.
Yeah, the game doesn't take a lot of breaks from poking fun at Americans and their discomfort with all things romance and sensual and sexual. Not to say that it's entirely inaccurate, it's just hurtful. Hurtful and accurate.
Poor Signora. That lady's holding on to a lot of anger. Reminds me of myself as a young vampire.
The deeper I dig, the angrier Isabella gets. I don't think we're even at the core of it yet, but she is furious as hell with her husband and son. She adored her son more than anything, a little too much maybe. Feels betrayed by both her husband and her son. Seems angry with herself that she wasn't able to control either of them. Maybe madder at herself than her boys. I tried to push Isabella to be a little more selfish. She can't control another human being, so maybe she can worry about herself first.
Pretty hot in here tonight. I think I'll get some air. Maybe I can get to know Bert a little better.
Aw, Bert. We don't hear much from Bert.
Hey, Bert. How's the crowd tonight? Same old, huh? So, what do you think of Leipzig, Bert? Real fascinating architecture here. Hey, not everyone's into architecture, I get it. So what do you do for fun here? More of a homebody, I guess. Yeah, I'm a little introverted too. Spent 90 years walking in the woods, you know. Yeah, there's nothing I like better than nature. The trees, the plants, the animals. The cities just seem so dead at night.
I don't think this conversation is going very well.
I can tell I'm interrupting. Well, nice talking to you anyway, Bert. I'm gonna head inside.
Have fun, mate.
Have fun, mate.
Hey, Crimson, how's the crowd?
Our Bert is a lovely fella, just a vampire of few words.
Hey, Cowboy. Bit busy tonight, but how'd your session go?
Yeah, I think we made some progress.
No, I think this lady's starting to realize what she can't control, which is a lot. She's still mad as hell about it, but I think we're getting closer to acceptance.
I know how she feels, Cowboy. I feel like I wasted years of my life in D.C. trying to make the world a better place. But it sounds like you are making progress to me. She's got time to make her peace. That's what Andy says about you vampires.
No, this is Crimson. She is she was in D.C. She was a law school graduate. I don't believe she went to Howard though. We haven't got that deep into her resume. But she's also been I think in Leipzig and hanging out with Andy for 20 years. So that would kind of the timeline doesn't exactly overlap.
Yep, that's true. We can take 40 years or 400, but that's up to us.
In the meantime, I'll whip something up for a hot summer night.
Is that a blood margarita?
What's this now?
Blood margarita.
Boom.
Figured a hot-blooded desperado like you could use something cold.
I don't even drink, and I know a margarita when I see one.
Oh, mighty kind of you, Crimson. I'll let you get back to work and take this up to my coffin for a quiet night.
Night, Sam.
Now let's see, what'll help me reflect on the night?
Yeah, so we got there's our hat. There's our signed headshot of Edmund Kean. That's us with our computer in 1989. And then the special vintage, and then the glass we brought back. I don't see our margarita, but maybe we'll get there eventually.
I think there's something Omar Khayyam once wrote that I can look up. Or I could watch Buster Keaton almost get himself killed a bunch.
Oh yeah, so all the video clips in the game are public domain, so there's no problems there. Now I will say the music has got every one of my Vampire Therapist VODs flagged on YouTube, but unless I at some point in the future I actually start making money off this channel, which I won't, it's going to be a minor annoyance at most. Yeah, read the poetry. Watch a man abusing himself for fun. Yeah, let's get some Omar Khayyam going.
One of my transcendentalist friends told me about this one. I ain't too good with poetry, but this piece always stuck with me. The moving finger writes, and having writ, moves on. Nor all thy piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all thy tears wash a word out of it. Funny how people in far-off places and times always had some similar perspectives. Omar's right. You can't change the past. Life moves forward. I think that's enough for one night. Better get me some shut-eye. Got the feeling my work's gonna get harder before it gets easier.
Yeah, our boy Edmund is coming up next. And I fear we're going to have to bust out the horse sense again.
My dear Samuel, greetings. How are you feeling tonight?
It's not essential. I've taken to dropping a save before each therapy session. I don't know if, yeah, like I said earlier, I don't know how on rails we are, so we could go steaming toward the same conclusion no matter what options we go for, or I haven't looked through all of the Steam achievements, so maybe there's other stuff we can do.
Honestly, I'm feeling a little like a horse who's about to be ridden by a big old fella.
I am not certain I comprehend your meaning. Have you met a special someone, my friend?
What? No, it ain't that. I mean, I'm feeling a little on edge. Edmund's coming in.
Yeah, so let's go back over our notes with Edmund. Yeah, Edmund Kean, the actor. Last time, Edmund tied his whole identity to the stage because the stage saved him from the streets when he was a kid. Obsessed with the audience, so we told him to act for his own sake and film it. Disqualifying the positive about any other actors. Definitely suffered abuse as a kid, still thinking the same when he was a kid, that the stage is always going to offer salvation. He has acted for his own sake, he forgot the fun while looking for safety. We'll see how that goes.
Aha, our actor friend. What about him has you nervous, Sam?
He's just a lot to deal with. I find myself a little drained after our sessions.
Ah, yes. Challenging the reality distortion fields of those with narcissistic tendencies is taxing.
I know, but if I'm here doing this therapist thing, I should help him one way or another.
Ah, remember your own distortions. You are under no obligation to help Edmund. If helping him drains you, remember that you do not have to aid him.
Yeah, you're right. I still want to try, though. I want to see if I can help him.
I shall not stand in your way, then. Have you an idea of what distortions he might be exhibiting tonight?
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Okay, personalization. Yeah, he does a lot of disqualifying the positive. And Nosferatu thinking. Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, personalization. Yeah, that's already locked in there. Making it all about himself. Yeah, that is at the core of his person. Hey Oliver, good to see you. How's your day going? Hope you're doing all right. How is Boom? The paw champion of the neighborhood. See, what else do we want to do? We could do some overgeneralization. Does he do labeling? That not a ton. I don't remember. We haven't done mind reading, but I don't know how often that would come up. You know, assuming, making assumptions about people's thoughts where you don't have any evidence for it. Or we can always go back to the control fallacy. Yeah, we'll do that. Well, yeah, so we have some newer ones in personalization and overgeneralization. Is still a good boy, still good at paw. Nice, nice. Lots more things now too. Hey, learning nice and fast for the most part. Not pouncing and biting can be learned faster. Well, sure, but puppy's gonna puppy.
I think that should cover it.
I wish you peace and patience, Samuel. Good luck tonight.
Thanks, Andy.
But I'm glad to hear things going well.
Edmund, amigo, how's it hanging?
To the left and most proudly, my dear boy.
Probably should have saw that coming.
Indeed, tonight I sit before you victorious. Thy gentle prodding hath guided me back to the womb of creation.
So I guess having him act for acting's sake went well? Question mark.
Do I want you to spell that out for me?
The stage, good sir, the stage. For if all the world's a stage, then the stage is where humanity is born.
Oh, yeah, I guess that must be true. So what are you saying? You nabbed some kind of juicy role?
Not just any role. Nay, I have been given the opportunity to once again subvert the audience's expectations. Though it was thy tender words that cleared the mists of doubt from my mind and reminded me that I belong to the stage, not to the audience.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, Eddie. Tell me all about it. What's been going on?
Do you remember the advice you gave me when last we met?
I told you to film yourself doing some acting, right? How'd that go?
I did as you suggested. I set up a camera, and for no one but myself, I became the Dane.
Marmaduke?
Oh, Sam.
Hamlet, my dear boy, Hamlet. I watched the great Edmund Kean inhabit the bard's greatest role once again, and in him I saw humanity pure, naked, and true. It was akin to pornography, albeit far more revealing. That Edmund Kean, I told myself, he and only he could produce something so beautiful.
Only he could produce something so it is very much making it all about him.
Wait just a minute there, Eddie. You're an incredible actor. Everyone agrees on that. But it's a big world out there, and everyone's got their own experiences. We all got capacity to do incredible things. It's a combination of luck, perseverance, and being in the right place at the right time. You ain't a great actor because you're Edmund Kean. You're a great actor because of the things that made you Edmund Kean.
You toy with the fates and flirt with pedantry, my dear boy. Oh, it is oft said that an infinite number of monkeys with an infinite number of typewriters at infinite time could produce all the works of Shakespeare, but such a thing is infinitely unlikely. If you will permit me to continue, to watch myself act without an audience was simply rapturous. I am not ashamed to admit that I did weep. I wept for the stage, that I deprived it of my greatness on account of my own misplaced dread. I have been a cream-faced loon, a devout coward, and most religious in it. Why should Edmund Kean fear any audience?
Yeah, the labeling right there.
You spoke truly. Edmund Kean bared his chest to all the slings and arrows of an unappreciative audience and was somehow surprised when they hit their mark. The Edmund Kean that you see before you is armored in love of the craft that no arrow may penetrate, and so casts aside the cloak of cowardice. To think, I feared mortal directors. I feared the audition, and the criticism that would come afterward. I feared the cast list, bereft of Edmund Kean. But to you I give thanks, for can a mortal director know my brilliance? Nay, they're all clay-brained guts and mouldy rogues. Their disrespect for the craft makes fools of them.
Okay, yeah, labeling, but I think that's we're gonna go with overgeneralization.
I think you're painting them directors with a broad brush, Eddie. I get that you've got more experience with acting than mortals, but all directors ain't the same. Hell, I'd even go so far as to say you could learn from some of them. They know they're gonna die, and that's perspective we vampires need sometimes.
Thou hast cut me to the quick, my friend. Perhaps some of what you say is true. However, I know in my damned soul that the stage is worse off without Edmund Kean, and nothing any mortal director can say will disabuse me of this. Ergo, I did ask myself, Edmund, what is an audition? Is it a trial to overcome? Is a director a god dispensing holy judgment?
Is he gonna do a one-man show that he directs himself? That'll go well.
And I replied, Edmund, do not ask such foolish questions, the answers to which thou knowest well. An audition, my dear boy, is not an opportunity, but an invitation to display the craft before another. So I told myself, why not act, dear boy? And so I did.
So you did an audition, all right, that's great. Did you have fun with it?
You speak so simply, my friend. Fun does not adequately describe the feeling one has when the muse takes over. It is transcendence, an affirmation of purpose, to condense humanity within oneself, if only for a moment. It is an orgasmic experience.
Okay, so we've had his acting is like pornography. He's called an audition an orgasmic experience. I think we see where this is going.
That sounds intense, Eddie. Having an orgasm in front of someone else is pretty brave.
Oh, but it is freeing. A true actor hides nothing.
And yet you wear clothes.
The director, she told me she had never witnessed such a thing in all her years, few as they were. I am certain that she thought to herself, is this Dionysus reborn? Why have the fates graced mine eyes with such depth of the human spirit?
Yeah, that's mind reading right there.
This time, my friend, I did not have to wait for a cast list at all. You are looking at a leading man once more.
Hey, congratulations, Eddie. That's great. See, I knew you'd get your mojo back if you remembered what made you love the stage in the first place.
We still don't know what the name of this show is.
For this, I am eternally grateful, and indeed, I do have an eternity to be grateful. Now I can already hear the calls resounding through the theater. Kean! 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 Give us Kean!
You may want to pick a different name.
Nonsense! They will say Edmund Kean has returned and be none the wiser as to the accuracy of their statement.
So what's the big role, Eddie?
Brace yourselves.
Ah, we get to the meat of it, unto the very sinew at last. They say that every story is a circle, that we return whence we came. So it is with me.
Is he gonna play Cupid?
'Twas tragedy that made me, tragedy that formed me, tragedy that raised me to glory, and tragedy that shall do so once more. I shall play the part of Pierrot. Pierrot, the clown who cried. Pierrot, the mask of the tragedy that is life.
I ain't familiar.
I believe you are, though you know a far inferior version, the one made famous by that ludicrous creature Grimaldi.
Grimaldi who?
Splud, my dear boy. Do you know nothing of late 18th century English theatre?
They must have skipped that subject in frontier school.
Grimaldi was the other influential actor in London. But whereas I drew out the soul and laid it bare on stage, Grimaldi, in comparison, was a clown, a jester, a funny man.
Okay, that's both labeling and... Well, no, it's not disqualifying the positive, so it must be labeling.
Grimaldi was an artist, like myself. But where my canvas was the soul, his was the latrine. When I strode upon the stage, my audience saw all the acts of life play out, in all their woe and joy. Oh, but Joey Grimaldi, the great clown himself, could create bottom noises with his armpit.
Oh, don't tell him he can make fart noises. Sam will be absolutely entranced.
Yet whose name was on the lips of the adoring public? Not Kean's, no. Not the bard's emissary. Give us the farting clown, they cried. Give us Grimaldi.
Ah, here we go. So the baying masses don't know what's good for them. They want that trash acting. They don't want the good stuff.
So you see, my dear boy, for me to play the tragic clown Piero, this is my opportunity to take what Grimaldi stole from me.
What did he steal?
He stole my audience.
Okay, yeah, that's making it all about you.
Eddie, from what you've told me, I don't think you and this Grimaldi fella had the same audience. I don't think anyone showing up for a farting clown show and getting Edmund Kean is going to be too happy, and it'd have nothing to do with you.
But if Grimaldi had not peddled his base filth, my audience would not have waned when it did. They would have been mine.
Now, we don't have one here. Is that emotional thinking?
And if the sun didn't shine, we could go out during the day. Come on, Eddie, the world ain't waiting on you. Grimaldi had his audience and you had yours. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Perhaps, though I weep bitter tears to think the people so base. And I weep for myself, my dear boy. The riches and fame he received should have been mine, and would have been, had the fates not cursed me with his birth.
Okay, we don't have a should statement. Oh, so the family reason would have been his had the fates not cursed you with his birth. Control fallacy? Yeah, it's assuming control or assuming a lack of control where some might have existed.
Watch out, Samuel. I think you're losing him. Edmund truly cannot see a universe without him at its center.
Okay, so this is just more making it about himself.
The riches and fame he received.
The fates cursed you with Grimaldi's birth? I don't think baby Grimaldi was thinking too much about you, my friend.
Well, no, he wasn't. He was 11 years my senior.
So maybe he was cursed with your birth then.
You delight in making me play the part of the fool, don't you?
I don't know, you do a pretty good job of it yourself.
The point I'm trying to make is that making things about Grimaldi versus Kean ain't doing you any favors.
There is some truth in your words. Why should I lower myself to his level? I am no flatulent jester. I am Edmund Kean. And mark my words, my boy. I shall cast Joseph Grimaldi from the Thespian Order. When I play Piero the Clown, Wikipedia shall forget all about that fool.
Just a sec there, Eddie. I'm afraid you don't have the power to make Wikipedia forget about anything.
He's probably not even a Wikipedia editor.
I mean, I can barely figure out how to use the damn thing. They get stuff wrong all the time, just like any history book. Can't stop that.
May they be thrice damned, then. Perhaps I shall simply become so rich and powerful that I shall buy it.
Wikipedia's free.
This is most fortuitous. I can purchase it immediately.
Eddie, I'm saying you can't control Wikipedia, and it ain't a good use of your efforts. The best thing you can do is focus on you, okay? That you can control.
Of course you are correct. The force of my performance alone shall redefine the role of the clown. You see, my dear boy, I have already calculated my triumphant return to the stage. Every move, every word, every expression shall be unassailable. You see, Edmund Kean is never wrong about matters of character.
Okay, there is one called Always Right that probably fit the best for this. But apparently we have one that works too.
Edmund's false confidence and unrealistic perfectionism has likely been a source of distress for him. Challenge him, Samuel.
False confidence, unrealistic perfectionism.
Every move, every...
I'm glad to hear your confidence, Eddie, but I just want to give you a word or two of caution. Acting's all about humanity, not just Eddie Kean, right? If you don't give yourself a little room to bend, your audience might not see themselves in you.
Ha! Let them dream their filthy little dreams. If my body is that which draws them in before I spring the theatrical trap, I care not.
I didn't mean that. I just meant that you're drawing some hard boundaries acting-wise. Giving yourself some middle ground ain't a bad thing.
I know you play your part, therapist, as I must play mine. I have heard your cautions. They need not be repeated. Indeed, I doubt our meetings will be necessary any longer.
Yeah, that's a strong disagree there, pal.
I must confess to some strong misgivings about you, therapist. There are times when we speak that I feel exposed, diminutive, and weak, and I can only conclude from those feelings that you are trying to hurt me.
Yeah, we've been over this, too.
It is no surprise that Edmund sees his feelings reflected in the world when he is at the center of the world.
I literally just put personalization, but maybe that's not it.
There are times when we speak that I feel exposed, diminutive, and weak, and I can only conclude from those feelings that you are trying to hurt me.
It is no surprise that Edmund...
There are times when we speak that I feel exposed,
It is no surprise that Edmund...
There are times...
Now come on, Eddie. I think you can come away from our experience with a few positives. Maybe I ain't all you'd hope for, but I don't want you throwing out the good work we've done. You got some new perspectives that I think are going to be a real help to you.
Oh, very well, therapist. You have your uses, I concede. But I hold your oath of healing fulfilled.
I'm still here for you, Eddie.
Regardless, opening night is a month from now. I doubt you shall see me again, for I shall not need your services. The public thought they knew what a clown was. In a month's time, they will forget Grimaldi and Bozo, and only Kean's clown will remain.
I'm surprised he's heard of Bozo. I thought Bozo didn't get very far outside of WGN, but that is a very niche reference, I know.
Therefore, why shall I need you? When I have the public's love that I am due, what need will I have for a therapist?
And when the public's love does not arrive, you're gonna need my services even more. You need emotional support. Hey, if you don't need me, you don't need me. That's totally fine.
Hey, if you don't need me, I'm happy. There's lots of folks who can use my help.
I was hoping you would lament my loss more than that.
Nah.
Of course I'd miss you, Eddie. You're as interesting a fella as they come. But if you don't need me, I've done my job pretty well.
Yes, well, I must admit, your suggestion of filming myself was rather brilliant, and I do owe you my thanks. Do you have any final words of wisdom for me then, dear boy? Theatre has lost its popularity because of my absence. When the public takes notice of Edmund Kean once again, how might I prepare myself?
Theater has lost its popularity because of my absence.
I just want to remind you, Eddie, that even if you give the greatest performance of all time, people ain't waiting for you. Think about how you felt when you were acting for yourself and not for the audience. Your most important audience member is you, compadre.
Ever the nemesis of mirth art thou, Sam Walls. But there is a little wisdom in what you speak. I shall remember Edmund Kean. I suppose, then, that this is goodbye, dear boy.
You sure you don't want me to keep your session slot open for next month?
There is no need. As you are so eager to help others, please do so, and worry not for Edmund Kean.
Tell you what, I'll keep it open just this once. I'll take the night off if you don't show up. Sound good?
Then I beg you enjoy a night of simple peace. You shall not see me.
Yeah, again, strong disagree. He's gonna be back here either with tears in his eyes or rage or both.
I give you thanks, and please send me a V-mail. I shall arrange theatre tickets for you if you are ever in London.
I'll do that, Eddie. You take care of yourself, you hear?
I shall be Edmund Kean's greatest advocate. Farewell, therapist. May fortune favor you as it has me.
Adios, Eddie.
Well, Samuel, it seems you are down one client.
Evo, tears, rage, and many long words. That would be the trifecta.
Yeah, I guess so. If he thinks he doesn't need me, I guess I'm doing something right.
You are unsure.
I don't know, Andy. I think that fella's got some more work to do, but he ain't ready to do it yet.
I believe you are correct, Samuel. I did warn you that this was likely to happen with our dear Edmund Kean. Do not consider it a failure of yours. Remember that we are all on our own journeys, and some of us need a little extra time to reach the next stage of that journey. Or in my case, a few thousand years. We cannot control the mind of any other.
Yeah, I suppose that's the way it's gotta be.
Go downstairs and have a drink to fate's whimsical turns. It is that which we cannot control that makes the world so rich and interesting.
All right, Andy, that sounds good right about now.
Go then, my friend. The night awaits. Rest in peace.
Well, that was a weird one. I guess it always is with Edmund. Half the time I can't make heads or tails of what that feller's saying.
Let's see. I guess that's it for Eddie. He quit therapy today. I guess I'll close out my notes. Eddie got cast in a play as some famous clown he had a rivalry with back in the day. He's rekindled his love for acting, not just with the audience. Still thinks everyone is waiting for him to light up the stage, obsessed with his own Wikipedia. I don't know how I feel about this one. I hope I'm wrong and that Eddie's going to be fine, though. Actors are strange.
I'll go check in with Crimson and see if she's got any of her wisdom to share. How we doing tonight, Crimson?
The drinks are flowing and the blood's pumping. Can't ask for more than that. How are you, Sam?
Well, I had my first client graduate. They quit therapy today.
Congratulations, Cowboy. Helped a vampire see the light, huh? How do you feel about it?
Well, I should express concern that Eddie has punched out without really getting to the core of what was wrong with him, but are we really sad to see the back of Edmund Kean? I say nay.
I got no reason to hold on to my clients forever. If he feels he's ready to move on, then I'm happy for him. Fella's still got a hell of a lot to work on, but don't we all?
Ain't that the truth?
Well, even if not everyone loves what he's doing, at least he's doing what he loves.
Hey, I'd call that a win, Cowboy. Not everyone gets to do what they love.
Sounds like you got some feelings about that.
All right, I'm gonna let you in on a big, dark secret. Maybe even darker than the fact that I drink blood.
I'll hold it with high honor, Crimson.
I liked being a lawyer.
Is that a deep, dark secret? I know the stereotype of lawyers is like, blood-sucking leeches and whatnot, but the other people go into law with good reason, with actually wanting to help people. They don't all end up in big law.
Oh, you're right. That is dark.
Now, come on.
Oh, shut up. I was good, Sam. I fought the good fight, and I knew case law like the back of my hand. The law just moved too slowly for me in the end, and getting cancer made it seem meaningless. Now, I love this place, and I love Andy, but I know I wasn't born to bartend.
Couldn't you practice law in Germany?
You try learning German and tell me how it goes, Desperado.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'd rather go to law school than learn German.
Oh, come on, it ain't that hard. I've picked up some German already. Ich spreche Deutsch good.
Hold me, Maxi. The cowboy is being once again too cute. I believe I shall burst.
Cowboy, come with us and we will teach you how to speak sehr good Deutsch.
I think I hear my dinner calling. I'll talk to you later, Crimson.
Be gentle with him, you two.
Now we will teach you the German that is most important for you to know.
It is important to ask politely when you wish to drink from someone's neck. Tell them, your neck is beautiful. May I drink from it?
Ihr Hals ist wunderschön. Darf ich von Ihnen trinken?
Just going to take a quick screenshot there for, reasons.
Now ask Reinhardt if he will let you drink from his neck.
It is very important to get the declensions correct in German.
Okay, see. I think this is what they call a scripted loss. So yeah, it's not that. I mean, they're all wrong. Hey, Ruak, good to see you, and thank you so much for the bits for the supersize emote. Hope your Thursday's going well. Yeah, we're having fun with our goth friends. They're trying to teach us German, and it's going about as well as you would expect.
Ihr Haus ist wunderschön. Darf ich von Ihnen trinken?
Sehr gut, mein Sannerschnittchen. Ja, wunderbar. Du kannst gerne von meinem Haus trinken.
Oh crap, I whiffed on that one.
I did not know my neck was so dainty.
Excuse? Hello? Why are we... Why am I... Yeah, I think we're soft locked here. Yeah, it's not letting me advance. Okay. We're gonna have to do we have any checkpoints maybe? Oh wait, no, we gotta go here. Okay, yeah, that was 10:30. That was 10:30. Oh gosh dang it, am I gonna have to do that all over again? Yeah, I can get into the journal, but yeah, I think we're stuck here. All right, well, heck. Let's see, that's 10:30:34. That's 10:30:44. Well, I think that's the first full-on like either crash or soft not a crash but like a soft lock we've had in the however many sessions we've had playing this game. Oh, for fuck's sake!
What? I know. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Okay, we'll power through this as best we can. We'll drop a save after we've done, just in case there's an issue. I'll try to remember like what I picked last time.
I think that should come. Thanks, Andy. Edmund.
To the left, indeed. Not there.
Well,
Do you...
Marmot.
It was akin to pornography, albeit far more revealing.
We just... You ain't a...
I am not... I have been a cream face. Use the end to...
Okay, that was labeling.
I give thanks. For can a mortal...
I think you're...
I know.
We'll see how much I was paying attention to my own commentary as we did this session.
Oh, but I am so... This time...
Hey,
for this... No!
You may want to...
No!
So...
Twas... I believe...
They must have...
Grimald, but whereas I... Grimald... When I... Oh, but... Yet who... Give it... So you...
What did he...
He stole... My audience!
From what... I don't think...
But if...
And if the Grimald...
The riches and fame he received should have been mine. And would have been, had the fates not cursed me with his birth.
The fates curse...
Well, you delight
the point...
And mark my words, my boy. I shall cut... This is...
Eddie, I'm the best...
You see, every move, every word, every expression...
Edmund's false confidence and...
Every move, every...
I'm glad if you...
Indeed, there are times when we speak that I feel exposed.
Now come...
But
I'm still...
Regardless, the public... Therefore, why shall I need you?
Hey, if you... Oh.
Yes, do you have... Theatre has lost its popularity.
I just think...
Tell you... Then I give you... I shall...
Adios, Eddie.
Okay, so that wasn't
Well,
too
Sam.
horrifying.
Yeah.
You are... I believe you...
Yeah,
Go down.
All right.
Go then, my friend. The night awaits. Rest in peace.
Well, that was a weird one. I guess it always is with Edmund. Half the time I can't make heads or tails of what that feller's saying.
Okay, now we'll drop a safety save here. Wait, what? What? Oh, god damn it! Now I can't. Now I can't make anything move. I can click the book. What the hell? Yeah, I can't even. Escape isn't letting me go back to that previous menu, and I can't click any of these. I think I think we're soft locked again. Okay, well, time to do the old Alt F4. We'll just do this shit again. Well, that was fun. You know, we hadn't had any issues with the game up till now, but apparently I'm gonna have some bug reports to make. Hey, Dawn, good to see you. Yeah, we've been steaming along just fine, but then I think we've come to an issue in one part of the game. I haven't seen people reporting like this kind of getting stuck in this one part, so I'm hoping a reset will sort things out. But we'll, you know, if we have to stop, we'll just pivot to something else, I guess. But good to see you, Don. Hope your Thursday is going well. I did see, you know, pictures of the deck and the backyard.
Okay.
Looks like things are going quite well there.
You've access. But I'm so close.
Well, that looks familiar.
I died.
I'm doing mostly okay. Just the news. The week's been a bit of a roller coaster. Some good news, some less good news, but again, nothing I can really, nothing that I can really fuss over to. It's all mostly just stuff out of my control, as these things tend to be. I do have my air fryer arriving tomorrow, so I'm happy about that. And Celeste, yeah, Celeste was. I got to the point where I accepted Celeste for what it is, and it's a game. It's a lovely game. I understand why people are into it. It's just not for me. Which is weird to say because again, I played all the way through like Alien Isolation, Darkest Dungeon, Elden Ring. Even like boss fights that took me multiple hours to get through. So why did I find Celeste unenjoyable when I found things to like in those other games? I don't know. I need to sit with that, as the young people say. The deck's pretty much done now. Excellent. Still got to build the shed, move it into place. Once that's done, the big stuff will be complete. Yeah. And then what you say? You take a year off of projects and then get to work on your new streaming space. You enjoyed watching me play. So did you enjoy watching me play Celeste, Andrea, or did you enjoy watching me suffer through Celeste, or both? Yeah, and like precision platforming is very much a different beast to an action RPG, or even a turn-based tactics game, or I guess the stealth game Alien Isolation was. Right. Anyway, let's give this a third shot and then see if it'll work properly. Pretty much takes the next year off and chill for the big office move. Sounds good. Yeah. Let the old finances and the house recover. The highs were high because the lows were low. That's fair. Okay, so with apologies to Daunt, this is going to be the third time we go through this session. So I am going to button mash.
Honestly, what? I know. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about that.
And you recover. Yeah, and let the humans recover too. That is also good. Let's see. What did we pick? Yeah, take over generalization and yeah. Yeah. So this is our third session with our actor friend Edmund Kean.
I think that should cover it.
I wish you peace.
Thanks, Andy.
But yeah, the short of it is we told him to go film himself acting with no audience last time, so he could rediscover his love for the craft without needing the audience's approval. And so basically he went, did that, and so now he has a role, and it's a role he's eager to play, so he thinks he doesn't need us anymore. How true that is, well, we'll see in a month's time.
Edmund, amigo, how's it hanging?
To the left and most proudly, my dear boy.
You're where your neighbors would hate it because it's rather large, but they love it, so it's beautiful. Hey, nice. You need to warn them of the build, but still not the same as any person. Well, it's good of you to warn them ahead of time, even though it is all in. I assume it's all on your property, so unless it was so huge it's going to spoil their view of the neighborhood, I don't see where they would have a place to complain. But neighbors be neighbors, and it's good to get out ahead of that.
Indeed, not well. It was akin to pornography, albeit far more. But to you I give thanks. For can a mortal director know my?
I think you're.
I know, and I. So you. This for you. Twas I.
We must
grim, but grim. Yet so what he stole my audience.
It's well within the bounds, but being the middle house of a three-house terrace, like to take into account. Well, yeah, and well, good, yeah. It's good that you keep them in the loop at the very least. I suppose just doing whatever you have the rights to do, but but maybe doing so without any thought to the neighbors. It speaks to the quality of your character.
From what I don't.
The riches and fame he received.
The fate?
And mark my words, my boy. I shall cost Joseph Grimaldi from.
Eddie, the best.
Every move, every word, every expression shall be on us.
I'm glad.
There are times when we speak that I feel exposed, diminutive, and weak, and I can only conclude from those feelings.
Now come. I'm still.
Regard the public thought they knew what a clown. Therefore, why shall I need you? When I have the public's love that I am due, what need?
Hey, if you don't need me.
Oh, yeah. Do you? Theater has lost its popular.
You sure? Tell you.
Then I give you thanks.
I'll do that.
I shall.
Adios, Eddie.
Well, Samuel, it seems you are down one client.
Okay, can I save now? Okay, we at least have that going for us.
Yeah, I guess so.
You are, I believe, ordered.
Yeah,
Go down.
All right.
Go then, my friend. The night awaits. Rest in peace.
So, yeah, the first time through, it's soft locked when we were in the middle of a feeding session.
Well, that was a weird one. I guess it always is with Edmund. Half the time I can't make heads or tails of what that feller's saying. I'll go check in with Crimson and see if she's got any of her wisdom to share. How we doing tonight, Crimson?
The drinks are flowing and the blood's pumping. Can't ask for more than that. How are you, Sam?
Well, I had my first client graduate. They quit therapy today.
Congratulations, Cowboy. Helped a vampire see the light, huh? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, well, admittedly, Edmund's got a lot of work to do, but are we that upset at seeing the back of him? I dare say no.
I got no reason to hold on to my clients forever. If he feels he's ready to move on, then I'm happy for him. Fella's still got a hell of a lot to work on, but don't we all?
Ain't that the truth?
Well, even if not everyone loves what he's doing, at least he's doing what he loves.
Hey, I'd call that a win, Cowboy. Not everyone gets to do what they love.
Sounds like you got some feelings about that.
All right, I'm gonna let you in on a big, dark secret. Maybe even darker than the fact that I drink blood.
I'll hold it with high honor, Crimson.
I liked being a lawyer.
This is a big, dark secret? More so than drinking blood?
Oh, you're right. That is dark.
Oh, shut up. I was good, Sam. I fought the good fight, and I knew case law like the back of my hand. The law just moved too slowly for me in the end, and getting cancer made it seem meaningless. Now, I love this place, and I love Andy, but I know I wasn't born to bartend.
Someone be using the park behind your path to practice their bagpipes. Random, but thankfully far enough away to distance that. Are you... I mean, I guess playing bagpipes in public isn't technically illegal. It just... Like, if someone was out there practicing a violin or a trumpet, would... I don't know, would people notice? Oh, it's illegal for your ears. Ah, I see. So it's a matter of personal taste.
Couldn't you practice law in Germany?
You try learning German and tell me how it goes, Desperado.
Oh, come on, it ain't that hard. I've picked up some German already. Ich spreche Deutsch good.
There used to be a trumpet person too. Okay, well there you go. Were they any more of an assault on your ears?
Hold me, Maxi. The cowboy is being once again too cute. I believe I shall burst.
Cowboy, come with us and we will teach you how to speak sehr good Deutsch.
I think I hear my dinner calling. I'll talk to you later, Crimson.
Be gentle with him, you two.
It was also okay. It was also background noise. Okay, well that's fair.
Now we will teach you the German that is most important for you to know.
It is important to ask politely when you wish to drink from someone's neck. Tell them, your neck is beautiful. May I drink from it?
Ihr Hals ist wunderschön. Darf ich von Ihnen trinken?
Chat, are you getting all this? Ihr Haus ist wunderschön. Darf ich von Ihnen trinken? Are you getting all this? Because there will be a quiz at the end of the stream. Now, it was at this point initially where we got soft-locked.
Now ask Reinhardt if he will let you drink from his neck.
It is very important to get the declensions correct in German.
Now, obviously, this is meant to simulate that we are a stupid American who does not know any foreign languages, and our pronunciation of anything is going to be god-awful.
Ihr Hals ist wunderschön. Darf ich von Ihnen trinken?
Sehr gut, mein Sanna-Schnittchen. Ja, wunderbar. Du kannst gerne von meinem Haus trinken.
Okay, now... I think we missed in our first attempt, and that's where we got locked in.
Cowboy, I was not expecting to die tonight.
Oh, come on, you ain't gonna die. Just hold still.
Oh, God, see, it did it again. So we missed the first time, and then now we're I can't advance. I can access our journal. Can I at least load? Okay, we can load. At least we can do that. I don't. I've been having a lot of fun with this game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go then,
I
my
just.
friend. The night awaits.
I think we.
Rest in peace.
The second we get past this, it'll be just fine. If we can't get past it, well.
Well, that was weird. I'll go check in with Howard. Well,
Congratulations, Cowboy.
I got Phil.
Hey.
Oh, come on.
Cowboy, komm, vi saß and we will teach you how to speak sehr good Deutsch.
Okay, apparently we can't even save on the floor. And now nothing is working. Okay, Alt F4 number 2. Having a great time. Having a super great time. Yeah, okay. It's my overall enjoyment of the game is not. This doesn't change that, but I am definitely gonna have to send in a bug report.
Go then, my friend. The night awaits. Rest in peace.
Hey, this is as close as we got. Yes, it's. Yeah, 'cause I tried saving here and we got the soft lock again. That was attempt
Well, that
number
was
2.
a weird one. I guess it always is with Edmund. Half the time, I'll go check in with Howard. Well,
Congratulations.
I got Phil.
Hey.
Couldn't. Oh,
Be gentle. It is. No.
It is very important.
you're.
Sehr gut, mein Sanash. Oh, Maxi. Now I'm feeling very disoriented and euphoric. Oh, so I've done many club drugs.
Okay, I think we got it this time.
I will take you home, Knutkugel. Now what do you say, Cowboy?
Oh, Dankeschön.
Dankeschön, sexy. We must practice together, so I must take this hot little man home now. Tschüss, tschüss.
Oh, yeah, see you later, you two. Well, it's about time for some shut-eye anyway.
Okay. So, yeah, in that interaction with Maxi and Reinhardt, missing just...
Good evening, Samuel. I believe you are seeing your elder vampire tonight.
Okay, quick timeout. Drop save. Lovely. Okay, everything's fine. But yeah, we get now we get Meddy, our Bronze Age vampire from Ireland, who is now a streamer with millions of fans who do everything for her, up to and including hiving her bodies and offering themselves up as sacrifices. Yeah, so she is 1,800 years old. So she's not fond of mortals. We told her to go out and touch grass last time, and she did. Although in the process she also killed 7 men, but streamers, what are you gonna do? So was sold to a rival warlord, killed by a wizard. I guess wizards are real now? Abandoned by her clan after she killed her new husband and became a vampire. Yeah, she was sold to a much older man. Pilloried as a witch in the 1700s, has her eye removed. She thinks it's funny. And says she is disgusted by her followers, but still relies on them to do almost everything for her. So trying to encourage Meddy to take... Yeah, so last time we told her, just take one day off and just do something for yourself. And get outside more. I think one session of touching grass, probably not enough.
That's right. I hope she's making some progress. Well, the world sure did a number on that lady.
I am hopeful. One does not live so long without being very resilient. I have had a number of near-final death incidents myself, and I had been trained to fight since childhood.
That's true. She's clearly got a few tricks up her sleeve. I don't even know how she plays them 3D video games.
Based on her last session, you probably have some idea of her current concerns. Would you like to prepare your distortions?
Yeah, I guess I'd better do that. Now, let's see.
Yeah, so she does overgeneralizations quite a bit. Let's see, I mean, they all do some version of Nosferatu thinking. She didn't do much in the way of blaming, blaming others for the way she is. I don't think. Or if she did, I mean, she had a point at the very least. I see personalization making it all about herself. Mind reading, trying to put herself, assuming the thoughts of others. Well, she also does a fair bit of labeling, because she takes a dim view of humanity in general. We'll throw some personalization too. Now, as far as I know, we don't get any. We've been through a couple of the sessions where we pick these, and we come across distortions that we don't have in our little lineup. I don't think there's any penalty. It's just we have one that's locked in, so we know we're going to get that.
All right, I think I've got what I need.
Very good, Samuel. I shall leave you. I believe I hear the flapping of ancient wings.
Greetings, my most favorite mouse.
Good to see you, Meddy. How's this month been for you?
Oh, it's been ever so tiring. My glitch channel hit 100 million followers, and they are all very hungry for content.
100 million. So I give a rueful laugh, seeing it's an almighty struggle just to stay above 400 here. But no, we're not. Comparison is the thief of joy. We're not going to do that.
What do you mean by content? Is it like making a TV show?
Oh, no, silly mouse. Do you know how we're hungry for blood all the time? Mortals are like that too, but for content.
Content.
It means constantly putting up new things on the internet. If they don't get content, they get frightfully bored.
I can see why that'd be exhausting.
It's alright, silly cowboy. It can be very nice. They're always very excited to see me. And they give me ever so much money. I don't know what to do with it all.
I mean, you have that problem too, right, Daunt?
Well, sounds to me like you can afford to take a break, huh? Did you take that day off like you promised?
I did. I didn't like it very much.
I'm sorry to hear that, Meddy. What was bad about it?
It was very quiet. It was just me, alone, with no one to talk to but the voices in my head. And those voices are very unkind.
What do they say?
They say, Meddy, you're being a very naughty vampire. You should respond to your zealots. You should be planning your content.
Okay. That is... Well, yeah, being a very naughty vampire. That seems to be... That seems to be textbook labeling.
You ain't a naughty vampire, Meddy. You're who you are. Labeling yourself ain't gonna help you none. You call yourself names and you're just gonna build up fear of being a naughty vampire, whatever the heck that is.
It's for my own good, sweet mouseling. You don't know how people on the internet can be.
Yeah, I gotta confess, I got almost no idea what you're talking about. I didn't get much past female.
I don't know what I'd do without the internet. I'd probably be a pile of ashes. Or maybe a desiccated, bloodless corpse.
If I didn't have the internet, I would be a pile of... Yeah, that strikes me as Nosferatu, black and white thinking.
Well, that's some pretty extreme thinking there, miss. You've lived without the internet for a real long time. I don't know why you'd turn into a desiccated corpse without it.
Yeah, if you're 1800, whatever, like the internet has been around for, let's be generous and say 40-odd years. Seems like there's a lot of not internet in there.
I suppose I could live without it for a little while. But You know, I don't belong here in this world, right, little mouse?
No, I don't know that. That's that extreme thinking again. There ain't no such thing as belonging perfectly, and there's a lot of space between thriving and being dead. I mean, look at us. We're both alive and dead, so I think we do a pretty good job of proving extremes not to be true.
Yes. I suppose you must be right. We're very bad at staying still like proper dead people.
I gotta ask, how'd you get so good at all this internet stuff anyway? I can't keep up with all this modern technology.
Well, back in the before times, I didn't need the internet very much. I used to live in the wilds where no one knew to look for me. If any silly mortals came to visit me, I would eat them. And if no one came to visit, I could go hunting for them on my own. But now there aren't any wilds. Now there are motorways and nasty machines. Now there are suburbs and shopping centers.
I don't know. There are still wilds out there. You do have to go a ways. I mean, like the Scottish Highlands exist. You know, there's Siberia. You know, there's northern Canada. We're big fans of northern Canada here on this channel.
So what did you do when the wilds went away?
I moved into the city, but I never liked it very much. People were very upset at me for being able to come out only at night. They started to whisper that I was a witch. I know what mortals like to do to witches.
Give them TV shows?
Pop goes the eyeball. Okay.
Oh, right, yeah. Funny. So, how'd you manage?
Well, I found out I could get mortals to do things for me. In exchange for a peek at my naughty bits, and for their miserable little insect lives, they would clean up after all my messes. Realised that mortals only ever wanted one of two things from me. To kill me, or to do sexual things with me. As long as they think they can have a chance of sexual things, I can control them.
Yeah, that's pretty textbook overgeneralization.
I think you're shooting fish in a real small barrel there, miss. You're judging mortals based on your experience, but there are about 8 billion of them out there. There are mortals who hate killing, and hate sex, or don't even care about either of those things. Some of them just want to watch TV and they're happy with that.
Those are even more disgusting, because they are cowards and liars. Most of my best friends over the last millennia have been insects. Do you know why, little mouse?
Oh, why don't you tell me?
Insects never lie. They kill, they eat, and they make babies. Sometimes they eat their babies. They don't pretend to be intelligent and chivalrous. They just are. They never surprise me. That's why I don't let mortals surprise me either. If they were honest, they would eat their babies too.
Okay, we don't have a projection distortion here, but I feel like she would eat their babies sooner than they would eat their babies.
Well, that conversation took a kind of dark turn, but I think I get what you mean about not letting mortals surprise you. You're protecting yourself, and that's a sensible thing to do. That being said, you seem pretty convinced that danger is a sure thing.
That's right. If I let myself feel safe, that's when they'll come for me.
Okay, so we don't have that one. Maybe that is emotional reasoning?
Well, my devoted little perverts were very helpful, but they had a very nasty habit of getting caught disposing of bodies. Policemen would shoot them into little bloody giblets. I don't like policemen very much.
I haven't had a good track record with lawmen either.
That's why I don't use them as my helpers. I can't trust them not to take their guns out and go, pow, pow, blam, 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 blam. Ugh, oh, I'm dying. My guts are falling out. Oh, why, policemen? Why? Ugh. Anyway, if my blood bags died, it would mean I couldn't get a fresh supply of blood without doing very risky things.
Very risky things like leaving your flat?
I realised that the more blood bags I had, the safer I'd be. That's why when I found out about the internet, I knew I had to get online.
I guess that makes some kind of sense.
Oh, it was so exciting though, little mouse. All of a sudden, I could make people do whatever I wanted without having to leave my flat at all. I had so many fans, and they would disappear, but then they would be replaced by even more, just like insects. It was very easy back then. All you had to do is say you were a girl, and the grabby little grubs would come out of their holes. Ah, we want vaginas.
Okay, that feels like both overgeneralization and labeling. But which is it more? Obviously, that grabby little grubs, that is some labeling. Basically, all you had to do is say what you're going. Yeah, that definitely overgeneralization.
So I ain't exactly gonna defend how menfolk act on the internet, but going back to what we were saying before, using these funny labels of yours probably makes it easier to fall into the overgeneralization trap. If you label people on the internet grabby grubs, well, that's all you're gonna find. Know what I mean?
Sometimes I think maybe you're a fun vampire. You take all the fun and go...
I ain't trying to ruin your fun, Meddy. Just asking you to think about the words you use and why you might be using them.
But then people realized they could say that they were anything on the internet. It was all like a big game. And what do you suppose I said I was, little mouse?
You're a vampire. You were a man, you were a dog, you were a wizard. Well, on the internet, no one knows you're a dog. The New Yorker established that back in the early 90s.
Did you say you were a wizard?
No, I don't like wizards.
Yeah, I guess I don't either. Always cheating at cards. That ain't right.
I think you're thinking of magicians, little mouse. I said I was a vampire.
Yep, there we go.
Well, that sounds kind of dangerous. I'm surprised you were so open about it after all you've been through.
Oh, but as far as they knew, I was only pretending to be a vampire because you could be anything you wanted to be. Sometimes they would come to meet me in person and they were so surprised when I drank all of their blood. But I don't think they minded very much.
Okay, yeah, that's mind reading.
I think that was my favorite time of the internet. There was a little place there for everyone, even me.
And then the corporations started moving in.
I ran a web ring for vampires. We had our own websites where we would invite people to come let us drink their blood. I suspected some of the others were actual vampires, but even I didn't know. That's what made it so special. We would send V-mails to one another and talk about vampire things. Oh, of course, it was nothing more than silly games.
Okay, and that's probably disqualifying the positive. Like, yeah, finding community online, even through web rings, yeah, there's positive bits about that. We could probably do with a bit more of that.
I think for the only time ever in my life, I had a community.
Gosh, you actually make it sound pretty nice. Maybe I should get a little more into this internet thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're too late for that, internet little mouse. It's all gone now.
Yeah.
Well, dang, what happened? Where did the whole internet go?
It went to social media. Face Friend and Gibber and Stumbler and all those.
I know, Face Friend is the worst, right?
Instead of looking for people like us, we just started asking the entire world to pay attention to us instead.
Well, that don't make too much sense to me. Sometimes when I was walking in the deep woods at night, I just used to have a good yell, but I didn't expect nobody to answer.
But that silly little mouse. The darkness is always listening, and something will always call back. We just don't know who or what.
I'm having a little trouble following. So it sounds like you had a group of people you trusted, and then just anyone?
That's right. I didn't know who they were. They just started following me. And some of them followed me because they thought I was pretty, and some because they thought I was strange, and some because their friends were following me. Suddenly, I had 1 million mortals who would do anything I wanted them to do, and believe whatever I wanted them to believe. It's easy, you know, little mouse. They want to be controlled. and I can control them all.
Okay, so they want to be controlled, mind reading, and probably overgeneralization, and I can control them all. That is, well, that's right there. It's a control fallacy. But let's go for overgeneralization.
They want to be controlled? How do you know that?
They live such short, confused lives, full of uncertainty. I'm doing them a favor, Mouseling.
Even if that's true, you still can't read their minds. Maybe they don't want that favor. Maybe they don't know they're uncertain. Heck, maybe they even like uncertainty.
Oh, silly Cowboy. They don't know what they want or don't want. You know that. The only problem is that I have so many of them to take care of.
But why do you have to take care of them?
The problem with having so many followers is that I have to feed them so much content. Even just playing video games all the time can be a lot of work.
I know. Imagine just having playing video games be your full-time job. What would that be like?
And you said that taking that break didn't do much for you, huh? You were just thinking about all the work you have to do for your followers?
That's right.
It sounds like you might have a bit of an addiction, Meddy. I gotta question whether having all these followers is a good thing for you. Having friends is nice, but these fans and zealots, well, it sounds like you've taken on a big task.
It is. But I can't help that they're so very needy. If they weren't so hungry all the time, I wouldn't have to feed them.
So, if they weren't so hungry all the time, I wouldn't have to. Yeah, it's another if-then statement.
Meddy is a participant in the relationship she has with her followers. That cannot be denied, Samuel.
No?
It is. But I can't help that they're so very needy. If they weren't so hungry all the time, I wouldn't have to feed them.
No.
Meddy is a
It is.
Meddy, I gotta say, you gotta take on some of the burden of this decision to feed all those fans of yours. Feeding them ain't your responsibility, you know. They can beg and whine all they like. You don't need to do a damn thing you don't want to do. And they don't need you as much as they think.
Some of them say that I'm codependent.
Now, why would they say that?
Well, I think those might be the ones who actually give a damn about you.
Ugh, I don't know. At least there are some that need a little less attention. It's the zealots who are the most demanding.
Remind me again, who are these zealots?
From my Only Zealots page. The website where I show my breasts and vulva.
Oh yeah, that one.
Don't be scared, little mouse. You're acting like a mortal. It's just squishy parts, we all have them. They're not special.
Oh, fair enough. I'm just not a very European vampire yet. So, these zealots, they take up a lot of your time?
Yes. It's frightfully bothersome. But they're ever so reliable. And someone has to go deal with my landlord and my computer upgrades. And go to prison for me if necessary.
I didn't know volunteering to be tribute to go to prison was an option.
Well, dang, it sounds to me like you're asking way too much of each other. This can't be healthy. Isn't there a better amount of interaction on these websites?
But I always know best when it comes to the internet. I have more followers than just about anyone, little mouse.
Okay, yeah, that's probably always right.
There's something more, though, about the internet and how it works. It's a secret, though. Can you keep a secret, little mouse?
Oh, is it the series of tubes? I've heard about this series of tubes.
Nothing you say leaves this room.
Well, the secret is that the internet is changing. Because of me.
Okay, that's almost certainly personalization.
Meddy, I know you've got a lot of followers, but the internet changing to fit you, that's a lot to swallow.
But what if it's true? I think it's true. I really do. I see it changing.
All right, there it is. You think it's true, but you ain't sure. There's mortals and vampires all over that thing. None of us are that special. There's probably a lot of people out there feeling the same thing you are.
Yeah, like Mr. Beast. Look how well that's working for him.
Oh, but I know something they don't know.
Well, how do you mean?
I discovered something. Do you know how I told you that the internet used to be a nice way to meet people who thought the way I did?
Well, yeah, I think I got that.
Well, something there in the darkness is helping me. It makes people think they know me and want to follow me and be close to me even if they wouldn't normally like me. It has been watching everything the mortals have been doing for a long time, and it remembers all of it, no matter how big or small.
Google AdSense?
It counts every second, it remembers every click, it can tell you what you want before you even know it.
Ah, the algorithm.
Well, you gotta be kidding me. Is it some kind of elder vampire?
I don't know, but it's growing very quickly. I learned how to speak with it. It calls itself the algorithm. And it's hungry, even hungrier than we are.
Yep, there. I thought the conversation might go towards the algorithm.
It's the creature that told all those mortals to follow me in the first place. It decides what and how much content I need to make.
Okay, is she blaming the algorithm? I feel like she might be blaming the algorithm.
It's probably listening to us right now. It says, I told you, the darkness is always listening.
Meddy, if what you're saying is true, I think this is some really dangerous shit. This algorithm sounds like it's trying to turn humanity into a big formula.
Well, why would that be, Sam? Unless someone's trying to monetize and gamify every interaction on the internet so we can maximize profit for our shareholders. I can't imagine why anyone would be doing that, especially not here on Twitch.television. By the way, folks, if you pay no attention to that window, that's it offering you a great deal on Apple Plus TV. Just because you see it on every single channel you open, that doesn't mean Twitch is desperate for you to sign up and give gift subscriptions and make new subscriptions and generate more revenue for it and its partners. No. It's just trying to help you.
But it's doing it. What if all mortals really are just the same?
Nope.
Meddy, I don't think that's true. You said it yourself. People used to find each other because of their similarities, right? Now this algorithm, I don't think it's proven humanity is all the same. I think it's trying to push humanity all in one direction. It's trying to make them all the same.
But why would it want to do that?
Money.
I don't know. I just got a bad feeling about this.
Didn't you say that feelings don't make something real?
I know. I don't know. I think I don't know enough to say yet. Maybe. But Meddy, one thing I am sure of is that this algorithm thing is hurting you. It's telling you what content to make. Who the hell is it anyway? I gotta ask you to think about what you want. Pretend there ain't no zealots and there ain't no fans. What would you be doing if they weren't around?
Are you alright, little mouse? You've gone quite pale, which is impressive for a vampire. I don't wish to worry you.
I mean, if anyone here knows pale.
Yeah, I'm fine. Just tell me you're gonna do something for you this month.
Well, I used to make my own clothing. I could try to do that if it would make you feel better, my sweet little rodent.
What'd make me happy, Meddy, is you doing something just for you. Does that sound good?
All right. I'll try then. I will see you next month.
Of course. You take care of yourself. I'll be looking forward to seeing what you've sewed up next time.
Then, farewell, little mouse. I hope you find a nice hole to scurry into.
Hey, did you get that stuff about the algorithm? You ever heard about anything like it?
Okay, let's drop another safety save. Just in case.
I am not eager to reveal such things to you, but there are sleeping terrors that could certainly consume us if we are unlucky enough for them to awaken. But this, no. I am not aware of any such creature. What Meddy described, a creature that takes note of every small change in nature, sounds like a force of nature itself. I will make inquiries. Do not fear, Samuel.
If anyone could disdainfully stare at the algorithm to set it on the right path again, it would be Andromachos.
Even if such a beast truly exists, it cannot change our nature as long as we are true to ourselves. This only proves how important our work is, does it not?
Yeah, you're right. I guess I got a little spooked, but we'll be fine.
You know what might make you feel better? Dancing.
I ain't that shook up, Andy. Maybe I'll go down and get me a drink, though.
I will not probe, though I am curious about your aversion to dancing. When you are ready to speak of it, I am here.
You're gonna be waiting a while, boss.
As long as it is less than eternity, I will be here.
Okay, you go do your wise old vampire wizard thing, and I'll go drink some blood. I'll see you later, Andy.
Rest in peace, Samuel.
Okay, that's a little unfortunate, but
Whew. Another night, another soul canceled.
see what we have to say about Meddy. So, got more insight into how Meddy's let the internet affect her. Andy suspects there's an ancient fallen angel out there pulling the strings. She bases her personal value on her follower count going up. Doesn't even have any real friends, just fans. Is letting this algorithm determine what she does all day. Still not spending time offline. Whatever this algorithm is, it sounds like a real asshole. I'm worried that this thing has got its hooks in Meddy. I'll keep pushing her to value herself, though.
Can't believe someone as old as Meddy's letting anyone control her. I guess some problems don't disappear no matter how old we get. Well, time to get some bartender wisdom. Howdy, Crimson. Think you could whip me up one of them bloody Steves?
Sure thing, Cowboy. Tough night at the office.
Oh, just got some of them existential questions lingering on my mind. Can you believe someone can be 1,800 years old and still let society tell them what to do?
I can believe it. Folks can get real uncomfortable when someone shows up and does things differently.
Oh, no kidding. My client's a weird one, but I think that's what makes her special. Just wish she saw it the same way.
Think you're making some headway, Chief? How's your session go?
Well, other than that absolutely terrifying revelation about the algorithm, the thing was mostly okay.
I'm getting somewhere with her, slowly but surely. She does a lot for other people, but not a lot for herself. Now that makes her real popular, but I think she's realizing that popularity ain't what it's cracked up to be. She's got her own strengths, and I hope she'll lean on them.
You're a rare one, Sam. I get where she's coming from. Lawyers like rules, even about lawyering. My colleagues didn't care much for my style, so I had to adapt. But they'd get so bogged down in doing something right that they'd stop getting anything done.
How do you like to do things then?
I told you how case law is my thing, right? Well, I studied the worst cases, the ones where injustice prevailed because some corrupt judge invoked some ancient precedent. I used their tools against them, made them look like fools. What goes around comes around, right?
And your colleagues weren't into that?
Hell no. No one was gonna listen unless I was polite and civil.
Yeah, I can see why Crimson didn't necessarily fit in DC. People love them some civility.
But power never listens to polite and civil.
There you go. Power sees nothing without a demand. Never has, never will.
You got that right. Well, that's a shame, Crimson. Sounds like they lost a hell of a lawyer.
They sure did. Now, I got that drink for you. Sorry, no bloody Steves this time. This one's a Gunther.
I'm sure I'll love it. I'll take it up to my coffin for a day cap. You have a good night, Crimson.
You too, Cowboy.
Ah, there we go. Nice and cozy.
Yeah, so we got our photos, we got those. We got Walden. Don't see our margarita though. Although it would be weird to have a margarita left over the following night.
Now, let's see. I can read Emerson. I think he's got a piece that'll help me reflect on the night. Or I could watch Charlie Chaplin make lawmen look like fools.
I think we've gone the classy route every night so far. So no reason to stop now.
I'm always grateful to my transcendentalist family for introducing me to Emerson. I think there's a passage about being a nonconformist in self-reliance. Whoso would be a man must be a nonconformist. He who would gather immortal palms must not be hindered by the name of goodness, but must explore it if it be goodness. Nothing is at last sacred but the integrity of your own mind. Absolve you to yourself, and you shall have the suffrage of the world. I like that. Exploring is its own goodness. I learned that lesson hard in my quiet years. With 1,800 years, who knows what good Meddy's found. Well, I think that'll do it for me tonight. Time for some shut-eye. Think I've got some tough battles ahead.
There he is, Samuel Walls, vampire therapist extraordinaire. How are you feeling tonight?
Okay, so we've done 3 rounds with all of our clients, and we've done, I think this will be our 4th therapy session with Andromachos. Then we'll go and do another safety save. There we go. I noticed disqualifying the positive is on the shopping block, so I think we have room for 2 more distortions.
Oh, come on, Andy. I'm keeping my hat on, but that don't make me an ace therapist.
No, but your progress with your clients does. I must confess, I think you are a more fitting therapist than I am. Your clients are quickly comfortable with you. I believe my clients are afraid of disappointing me.
I mean, I guess I can see where that makes sense. I ain't too keen to disappoint you either. You always make that face.
What face is this now?
Never mind.
I'm teasing you, Samuel. I understand. It can be difficult to relate to a 3,000-year-old being. But let us not spend our time talking about me. I am more curious about you. Let us start with some meditation, and we will see what arises for you.
Okay, and we did figure out how the meditation little minigame is supposed to work. So we're just supposed to like hover the mouse over the phrases. We don't have to like mash the button on them to make them go away.
Remember your place of comfort, my friend, and remember to breathe.
Life just ain't fair. There once was a man named... Maybe I should start a farm or something. Not Bella. Her blood tastes real fine. Wonder whether I can rent a horse. The bastards are unstoppable now. I deserve to be punished for what I've done. Ain't right, they don't let dead folk vote. Wonder what's going on back home. Hope Reinhardt doesn't try to teach me more German. Crimson's real cute when she scrunches her nose up. I've been a real bad boy. Wonder how Edmund's doing.
Are you feeling better, my friend?
Oh, we got an achievement. Concentrating compadre kept perfect focus during meditation. I thought some of those thoughts crept all the way through, but apparently they didn't. Hooray!
Yeah, I think I'm more in tune with my own thoughts these days.
I am delighted to hear it. What sorts of things came up for you?
After our last session, I can't help but think about my criminal past and how I was pointing fingers everywhere but at myself. The universe dealt me a bad hand, but I played that hand poorly. I got abused, and then I abused other folk. I guess that's only fair, so yeah, I can feel bad, but maybe the universe was just evening itself out.
Is there a karma cognitive distortion?
Aha. Samuel, I know that when we both have suffered and caused suffering, it is tempting to blame the fates. But this is dangerous, a sort of cosmic control fallacy. If we expect that fate will reward and punish fairly, we are bound to be disappointed.
Or what the a just world fallacy?
We are immortals, Samuel. We live long enough to see old grudges die, and the judgments of our generation replaced by another. So in the grand scale of time, how can any judge fairness?
Dang, that's a real good point, Andy. But a depressing one, honestly. I was never a man of faith, but walking in them woods for so long, seeing so much nature, so much life and death, I started to feel a kind of flow to the universe, you know?
I understand, Samuel. I am not suggesting that you deny any kind of spiritual faith you may have. It is fairness that is the fallacy. If we cannot define fairness, we certainly cannot expect it.
Yeah, I think I see what you mean. Dang, another cognitive distortion, huh?
No one ever said being human was easy. Yes, this distortion is called the fairness fallacy by mortal psychologists.
Okay, so not quite just world, but it was a matter of fairness. Okay, the fairness fallacy. You know them folks who say, I work hard, so I deserve to get what I want. Well, just you thinking you deserve something don't mean the universe will reward you. Truth is, your definition of fair is personal, and it'll often conflict with other people's definitions. It's a fairness fallacy to assume our picture of what's fair is the only reasonable outcome. Examples. I donate to lots of vampire charities, so I know I'll be rewarded by tripping on an oil deposit real soon. Or, my buddy Alejandro sleeps in his coffin all day, He does deserve his muscle tone. I'm a great therapist, so Andy'll surely give me his therapy practice, though I got no head for business.
Let me give you a few statements that might have examples of the fairness fallacy, and you try to find them.
And that reminds me, so it's a fallacy to assume our picture of what's fair is the only reasonable outcome. So what we're trying to impose our definition of fairness on the universe.
I work hard to ensure my club is dope because I believe in earning my good reputation.
No, that's just kind of a factual statement.
Hey man, like, maybe it's good karma and maybe it isn't, but I just like to put out some positive vibes.
Okay, that was just disgusting.
The great vampire banker Count Van Gelder has been an entitled prick for 6 centuries. It's only a matter of time before he gets what's coming to him.
Okay, there we go.
I think I heard of this fella. He was one of them vampires pulling the inflation strings during that coronavirus thing, right? They say he caused the Great Depression back home, too. You're right that he's acting like a prick, but the universe ain't accidentally gonna make him fall on a wooden stake.
You are correct. This is a fairness fallacy and a bit of wishful thinking.
You really don't like this fella, huh, Andy?
He is a 600-year-old investment banker. He's tried to summon demons, and even they refuse to spend time with him.
Ooh, damn!
Yeah, and he's ugly, too.
Let us not descend to his level, Samuel.
Oh, sorry.
For you would never reach the bottom. Why bother being kind to mortals? The universe only punishes kindness.
The universe punishes kindness? Well, that ain't nothing you can know, boss. Sounds like a fairness fallacy to me.
Indeed, Samuel. It's the sort of thing a more nihilistic vampire might say. But such nihilism is not founded in objective reality. And nihilistic vampires are real downers at parties. At the last Blood Drinkers Ball, I ended up at the same table as Ayn Rand.
Oh, God. An immortal Ayn Rand? Eugh. There are some fates worse than death.
I cannot imagine who decided to offer her immortality. That was my longest night in thousands of years. But well spotted, Samuel.
I got all the fairness fallacies right.
Indeed you did, Samuel. You are most adept at tracking down cognitive distortions.
I got a good tracking nose, I'll tell you that. I can't tell you the incredible things I learned just being in nature for so long.
Yes, you speak quite highly of this time. This is where you discovered the concept of cognitive distortions. And you said something about a flow to the universe?
Oh, yeah, that. I don't know, Andy. Something about seeing so much life and death and rebirth. I think it made me start to look at things differently.
It sounds as though it was a spiritual experience for you, Samuel.
I think it was, too. My buddy John, he showed me the way. John Muir, you probably know who he is.
Yes, of course, the American naturalist. He made the entire United States agree that its nature was beautiful and worth protecting.
Did he, though? And also, he might have... Again, that might be disqualifying the work of other people. Other darker-skinned people.
That's John, all right. I used to call him Johnny Christ because of the way he could make you believe. He didn't like that too much, but he had a way of making people think differently.
How did you meet?
By the late 1800s, my hippie friends moved west. John, he was their hero. He walked and thought, and no modern comforts. We got along well. He liked that I never got tired. We usually walked in silence, appreciating nature. He'd draw, I'd write. I think it was the first man I fell in love with. I was still a young vampire then, not even a century old, thinking I was straight.
Most of us need a good 100 years before we are ready to open Pandora's underwear drawer.
Yeah, about that.
Are there any straight vampires? No, I mean, there have to be. If vampires are based off of vampires are retaining their humanity, and much of humanity is heterosexual, but they might still enjoy heterosexual relations, but they might be bi or pan or what have you.
How long did it take you to branch out?
Oh, Samuel, death had little effect on my sexuality. I am from another era. Do you remember the 1970s? They were nothing compared to the 970s BC. The stories I could tell you. One night, my friend Heraclos and I snuck into the
I was just thinking about the time.
I'm joking, Samuel. Such a thing is not for a therapist to share in a session. I just wanted to tease the American a little.
Yeah, you seem to do a little teasing a lot.
Well, I think you're being real mean. Sorry. That's what I used to say to Princess when she was being naughty.
I am honored to share the space in your mind occupied by your beloved horse.
Why are we such sexy beasts anyway, Andy? Seems even the mortals know what we're like.
We are powerful, immortal beings. Our capacity to explore is something no mortal can dream of, as is our capacity to be bored. Dr. Drayne might say that we have dopamine cravings that become harder to satisfy over time, and that might well be true.
Wait, so the older we get, the hornier we get?
Or just the harder you are to impress or to get riled up, so to speak.
You have an interesting future ahead of you, my friend. We'll make an international of you yet.
I've been wondering, are there older straight vampires out there?
No. Sexual exclusivity of any sort seems incompatible with immortality. There is a group of vampires out in Washington who claim to be straight, but they are not fooling anyone.
Yeah, we'll just let that ride.
Oh, that's my curiosity satisfied. But speaking of which, I was talking about John. I fell for him hard. He wasn't into me like that, though. I don't think his wife got much from him, neither. That man was married to Mother Nature. But he was good company. I helped him map the West by sharing what I'd seen at night. I offered him my blood, but he was offended at that. He valued death and pitied my immortality. He just liked things as they were.
I wish I had met him. His mindset aligns with accepting things without judgment, as we explore in therapy.
He was an incredible fella. When he told me, Sam, I'm gonna get Teddy Roosevelt to make a law protecting all this, I believed him. Before he died, he urged me never to forget the earth. But I got busy roaming and didn't notice the wilderness shrinking. My old gang tracked me down and drove me to you. If I can't help them see another way of living, they'll destroy this planet.
You sure about that?
How is a group of gangsters going to destroy the planet?
Right. Well, the mystic bastards are doing more than robbing banks and holding up trains these days. They got organized. And now they're called Sanguinius Health. They're a health insurance company, draining folks of their blood, money, and hope.
Okay. Health insurance company destroying the world, that I can believe. Especially if they're based in the U.S.
Well, they're big now, too. Real big. Got friends in high places in the mortal world. Nobody knows they're vampires.
I was not aware of this company.
Well, they're good at keeping secrets. Even in the 1800s, we had a code language. They'd bring on the infinite dawn if it made them money. If I can't stop them, they surely will.
This sounds serious, but remember to not let your fears distort your thoughts. When we foresee only a negative end to a complex situation, this is called catastrophizing. Another extreme that colors our thinking.
Oh, good. I'm rather familiar with this one, unfortunately. As vampires, we can imagine the worst outcome to any situation because we've seen some real shit. But expecting disaster from the smallest issues ain't being honest with reality. Catastrophizing keeps us locked in the fear of doom, but we can break out of it if we keep our cool. Examples. Dang it, I missed a shot. Now my reputation's gonna be shot too. Or, I heard a rumor one of them dang Van Helsings is in town. This is it, compadres. We're dead. Or, I feel weak tonight. I must be losing my vampiric powers.
Meaning, maybe things are rough, but I can't see every angle, right?
Yes, exactly. This is not to say your worries are overblown, but being able to imagine varied futures is useful in our decision-making. Let me give you an exercise so you can identify catastrophizing. I always make sure I keep my coffin key with me when I go to sleep. It would be embarrassing to be trapped in my coffin.
I don't know about that.
I sent my friend Bazul the Bloodborne a funny cat video, but he left it on red. He is surely plotting my demise.
Okay, that is catastrophizing.
That sounds like a pretty strong assumption to make. Maybe Bazul the Bloodborne was busy doing a puzzle, or knitting a cape or something.
And we got... So I think we got an achievement there for finding one of every kind of cognitive distortion. So hooray, more achievements.
You are so wholesome, Samuel. I think I know what Bazul was doing, and it was not knitting. It could have been countless things, so you are correct. It is unlikely that he has left me unread out of malice. It was a really good cat video, though. I will send it to you later.
Oh, you never responded to that funny video I sent you of the horse pretending not to like carrots. That was a good one, huh?
Oh, I will have to remember to examine it later.
I don't think he watches any of my horse videos.
I saw a rat in my club the other night. The health inspector will certainly shut us down and expose me as a vampire.
Okay, yeah, the last bit does sound like catastrophizing.
I don't think one rat showing up at your club is going to make the health inspector take you down, boss. I mean, the rats were some of the cleanest things at a few saloons I've been to.
You are correct. That was some clear catastrophizing. I have not seen a rat here ever since I hired Bert.
Good old Bert.
I can't say I ain't had a rat-eating phase myself.
Oh no, Bert eats everything. He's kind of like a vampire goat. I do not know how he does it.
I guess Bert could eat the health inspector, too.
I think they know better than to get too close.
I would hope so.
Oh no, I am trapped outside during the day, and it is the middle of summer. I shall burn to ashes.
I mean, that's actually probably accurate.
When I DJ downstairs, I must ensure that I do not wait too long to drop the beat, or my patrons will think I am a terrible club owner and leave.
Okay, now that's catastrophizing.
I don't know, boss. I don't think anyone's gonna get all that worked up about dropping a beat. That's gotta be catastrophizing.
You are correct, Samuel. I am sure they will forgive me. Though, I do not let the beat drop too late or too early, but precisely when I mean to.
I guess as a vampire wizard would do that, wouldn't they?
All right there, Gandalf.
Okay, there we are.
Who is Gandalf?
Never mind. I think I get what catastrophizing is now. It's just hard to see other angles when I see how powerful my ex-gang's gotten, you know? But I know them. Well, they're just like I was. Maybe they've gotten better at being evil, but I get where it comes from now. That's why I feel this responsibility to help them. Now, I know that's a control fallacy. Maybe I can't help them, but I do want to try.
Wanting to guide them out of the darkness is not a cognitive distortion, Samuel. It is a noble aim, truly.
I'm just not sure I can do anything. I'd probably just make them worse.
That sounds like catastrophizing to me, Samuel. I believe that you will help some and be unable to help others, or some may not be ready to be helped.
I reckon you're right. I gotta take things as they come. Just follow that flow of nature.
You are doing exceptionally well, Samuel. I have seen your clients slowly changing the way they look at themselves.
I don't know, Andy. Seems like there's a lot of work to do.
There's always work to do, though. We've said as much.
There always is. That we will have work to do is one of the few things we can truly expect.
Well, I surely hope things keep going well.
I am not a man of faith, Samuel, but I do have faith in you.
Oh, gosh.
Come, let us wind down together. Perhaps you would like to play Settlers of Wallachia with me?
That sounds like the kind of quiet evening I'm looking for.
Come then. I will set up the board.
Aw, no minigame? Of course, that would probably take entirely too long.
Good evening, Samuel. I hope we are feeling good about tonight.
Okay, yeah, so this is round 4 of... Yeah, so we're round 4 with Dr. Drayne, and then our other ones. Let's see what we have in our diary. Yes, we're up to July. I think we came here in, what, April? Yeah. Golly, what a month. I took some time to do some traveling in Europe in between class sessions. Prague is a great place to be a vampire. Nobody gave my fangs a second look. Well, unless I was biting them, which they didn't mind at all. Eddie hooked me up with some vampires and bears, too. We took a trip to the catacombs and drank some real expensive blood. It wasn't that good to me, but I got simple taste. Beautiful city, though. My clients are doing pretty well, I think. I even had one move on, so I guess I must be doing something right. And I learned 2 more distortions tonight. Oh, and Crimson's a lawyer? Didn't see that one coming. Okay, let me go ahead. We'll drop a save here. There we go. Now, I don't know how long it would take to get through all 4, but it's probably... I think I'd like to save the final sessions for tomorrow's stream, and then we can give the game a proper send off. Hopefully without any sticky bits that keep us having to Alt F4. So, with apologies for to Oliver who has burbed. I do think we'll call it there because it is also like a quarter after midnight, and I do have to work tomorrow. So the plan is this: we'll finish out. I say finish out. I'm operating under the assumption that we're having 4 sessions with each client, and then so we'll be able to finish off Dr. Drayne, Isabella, Edmund, who I assume is coming back. I feel pretty safe in that assumption, and then Meddy. Then we can get some final thoughts on the game. But yeah, I agree, Rocky. This is a fun game, and and I think this will be like 15 hours or so we've been playing it, and other than that one bit where there's a little bit of buggy interaction, it's been a really good time. We've had some heartfelt and well researched. The art and the voice acting are all on point. And again, this is a solo dev. I think a solo first time dev at that. Cyrus Nemati, the guy who voiced Dionysus and Ares and Theseus in Hades. I think he is the one who's done, I think, the most of the dev work. Obviously, other people have been doing voices. But yeah, we'll call it here. We'll come back tomorrow. And then Saturday and Sunday, we'll go back to the Long Dark. We're still doing our Misery run. I think we're 30 days in. I don't know when the next affliction is coming, but it's probably going to be soon. Because like the last one hits day 46. So we're gonna. So we still have 2 more RNG afflictions before the big one. And I especially want to get this finished this week because I think not this coming week, but the week after. I think August 15th, the next Dredge DLC, I think like the Iron Rig, is coming out. Now I'm going to be all over that. So appreciate you hanging out. So Ruak, Oliver, Dawn, appreciate y'all being here, and Andrea, and Goofy as well, Stewie, and thank everyone hang out and chatted. Appreciate all the lurkers. But let's close things out by finding someone to raid, and we can pass the love on to someone else. So let's see who's out there. Oh yeah, and Newgate was here earlier. I knew I was forgetting someone. Let's see. We got some of our Long Dark crew. We got Auntie Sarah, but I think we raided her recently. Got a few people playing Elden Ring. One person playing Hades 2. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Is this person still on? It's always good to check. I think they're about to wrap up. Okay, that would be awkward. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. The Daunt will be familiar with this gentleman. Yeah, let's go raid Red Weird. He's playing Stardew Valley. He's doing a perfection run. 50%. He's 57%. I can word better. 50% of the way there, year 3 summer. Also another guy who is big into mental health, and also a and just a chill streamer overall. And as well, and then just like Stardew Valley is just chill in general. But yeah, folks, if you can, please stick around for the raid. Show Red some love. I think he's currently like deep into Journey of the Prairie King. I think he might be on the last level. Matter of fact, I think he just beat it, which is remarkable. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that. But yeah, folks, if you could, please stick around for the raid. Show Red some love. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow with more of this. But appreciate y'all being here. Hope y'all have a great rest of your night. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now.